Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, Hennifer onesies, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
Look at how fucking glorious this is.
It is very glorious. You might have to put it closer to the camera so people can see it. But I am Mr. Jason Roskam. With me here each and every single week.
That's what she said.
Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
And Hand Vader.
Yes, yes.
I have you now.
Yes. Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, we're back to normal.
Yes.
Back to our flow.
Yes, it's a Monday. It's just us.
Yeah.
There's no fucking other mouth breather here in the room.
Which this is the first time in like a month it's been.
I know it's been weird
that we've done our.
It's been
show
weird. We've been like kind of restricted somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's been. It's almost like we're protecting somebody from us.
Yes.
I don't know, oddly. So yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that anymore.
Yep. So we're back to normal this week. And what are we talking about this week?
Fuck if I know. No, I do know. It's we're talking about the music of 96.
That's right, 96.
96.
Which, by the way, this is episode 294.
94. Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, good times.
Yes, holy fuck.
Yes.
294 fucking episodes of this shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we're 6 weeks away from
300.
Yeah, the big 3.
Oh, fuck. We have to figure out how to rescheduling the Sidebar family thing.
Right,
anyway, all right.
Somebody named Brady.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Had an issue.
Somebody's wedding or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck
that. What's more important? Come on.
I know, right?
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
All right. So yeah, music of 96 should be an interesting conversation. I like to call it the year the music died. Yeah.
All right.
And again, we'll get into it when we get there. But as always, we have a ton of other business to get to. So should we talk about Patreon first?
You, sir, should talk about Patreon.
All right. Well, if you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week. I'm out of breath. I think I'm out of shape. You know, that's what it is. Like,
is that what it is?
Yeah. Anyway,
you're not doing your vocal exercises. The
right.
arsonist has oddly shaped feet.
That's right.
That's what you have to.
That's what we were doing right before we went live. We'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Catherine Rennick, Dragon Buddy, David Schmuck, Frederick Martin, Steve Long, Shotgun Mark, General Chinobi, Nicholas Schaefer, Wally Frogmore, my wonderful mother-in-law Patricia Goodstein, Nick from Swede Studios, Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast, Frank Kalevich, Kristen Roskam, Don Solsky, Lord Helmet Fire, Ivo G, and our latest patrons, Carly and Janine Vickers, who are watching us right now, as far as I know.
Yeah. And
what in that? All right, Dave's distracting me. All right, let me get through this real quick before we go off the rails. If you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon supporter, find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this. Back to you, Dave. What in the fuck? Is that
don't mind me. I'm just gonna.
Dave has a box of Legos. Looks like a space shuttle set.
I'm just gonna brandish this, because you mentioned Carly Vickers, and
yes.
I happened to stop in to check in on our wonderful patrons, Helmet Fire and Carly and Jan. And
Janine?
I can't talk because of the awesomeness of this.
Maybe you should take that box out from in front of your face.
What is it, distracting, Jason?
It is.
Is it? Look at all the Legos.
That's a lot of Legos.
Look at all of them. So yes, this was a nice surprise from
nice gift
from our friends,
which combines two of your favorite things.
Yes,
space travel and Legos.
Yes, it does. Look at all the 1,700 pieces.
God damn, son.
God, I just want. You know what I want to do right now, honestly. Besides pour them all, I want to pour them all over the table or onto the floor and just go, no, yes, like Scrooge McDuck. But that would be the most painful thing ever. Like I'm not that much of a sadist. I really just want to open these, dump them out, and just start building while you're talking. Like,
that would be way too distracting.
I know it would be. That's why I want to do it.
Do that.
So we're just gonna put this over here for now.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens.
Oh God.
So I promised Carly that we're gonna Legos are gonna factor into this show some way or another.
Well, they already have apparently. So,
hey, a promise is a promise.
All right, fair enough. But do you have some sidebar headlines?
Listen, our bros at ATSW, the Escape Pod, are out of control. It's not in caps. It probably should have been. And it seems like they are turning our own followers against us.
A2 Brute.
Dave is fine. Well, it's relative, honestly. We were having this conversation before we went live. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. More on that and see what Hennifer has to say at the end of the show.
All right, very good.
And while we're getting through the show and you're juicing,
We're juicing.
Janine and juicing for shizzle.
Are you okay?
No, God, no. You know what? I think what happened was I got so pissed off at work today that I may have given myself an aneurysm, and so I'm like shorting somewhere. Like that legitimately might be happening.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so kids, what I want you to do at home today, while we're talking and we're enjoying the music in '96, I want you all to Google the word propaganda, because we're gonna have a conversation about it later at the end of the show.
All right, very good. That being said, do we want to get into our weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have all the things for the weeks.
Yes. So first of all, I do not have an addition to
The sacred Jedi
Travesty.
because I have something else
An absolute travesty.
to talk about, and that is my
You son of a
build your own lightsaber from
trade you.
Galaxy's Edge came in. And first, before I hand it to you, Dave, I'm just going to show the people at home what I made. So this is my build your own lightsaber that I made at Galaxy's Edge. Dave, feel that thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does this have like D batteries in it to make it this heavy, or is that just
No,
metal?
that's the metal. That's the material that it's made of.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, like it's very high quality, like metal, like a hard, heavy metal that these things are made out of. Now, of course, it's not lighting up because we got to attach the blade.
Oh.
But let me see it real quick.
So it actually like it's smart enough of a circuit to not.
Yeah. So once you get the blade in, fire it up. So I picked a purple blade, but I also have, oh Jesus Christ, you almost whacked me in the face. I also bought kyber crystals that I can swap in and out. So I also have a red one, a white one, and a yellow one. So
This thing's fucking legit, man.
yeah. And you can actually like whack things with it. It's not like not durable. Like you can. So yeah. So you can fight with it and everything. It's fucking awesome. And even if you do break the blade, it's detachable, so you can just buy a new one. But yes, I highly recommend it to anybody who's going to Galaxy's Edge. If you haven't done the build your own lightsaber, first of all, like
So
I said,
how many pieces is this? So you have the emitter, right?
you've got this. The hilt there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total pieces.
Okay. Yeah, and you went with it pretty much
7 if you count the kyber crystal.
You have your theme,
Yeah,
right? That
I picked the Sith theme, obviously. Obviously. I decided to go with a purple blade because everybody else was going with red blades, and I could buy a red kyber crystal and throw it in there if I wanted it to be red. But I wanted it to be purple, sort of Darth Revan kind of thing.
I got you.
So
Fucking things.
yeah, and it feels awesome in your hand.
Yeah, dude, I legitimately like. You know what this feels like? Remember when you were in maintenance with mag lights.
Oh, yeah.
I would have mag lights getting it
Yeah.
out of the fucking truck. You know, Brady, I know you from your old maintenance days. You remember this shit.
Oh yeah, and we'd pretend they were lightsabers.
Yeah,
and-
the fucking those black mag lights and how heavy they were with the fucking D batteries in it. That's what it feels like. It's like heavy, like fucking that.
yeah. So now I need to figure out a way to like legit display this somewhere in the studio. So
You know it's awesome in your hand. You know that.
yeah, it is.
You know that.
So, oh, hold on, let me get my nose back up. What else was I going to talk about this week? Oh, so with all the hoopla about Jedi Survivor, everybody's playing it. You mentioned last week you finished it already.
Yes.
I was at Bob's house over the weekend, and he mentioned how he was getting close to the end, and I'm like, fuck. All right, I shouldn't really miss out on this. But again, I didn't finish Fallen Order. So
Right.
last night, I fire up Fallen Order, and I'm playing it on my PC because I told you I bought it on Steam because it was
yeah.
on like super cheap on Steam, and I've got an Xbox Sex controller hooked up to it.
Okay.
And it plays fucking perfectly. I actually started the story and started playing through.
Nice.
It's fucking flawless. It looks beautiful. And I forgot how great that opening sequence was when you're on the shipyard and you got to escape and everything.
Dude,
and,
I have more screenshots of that especially when I replayed it because I was playing it off of the Xbox Sex and it just seemed like it was crisper
Yeah.
than the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like screenshot. Because that image is they did it right from the telling of a story of the Star Wars story in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, look, I know there's a lot of video games that tell a lot of good stories. I get it. And I don't play a lot of those games. These are the games that I play. I think they did a really good job with this one.
Yeah, and I just forgot how fun it was too to just fucking just slice through armies of troopers, and so I'm looking forward to this playthrough, and I'm gonna put some legit time in this week and maybe finish it this week and then start Survivor. So
Yeah. Yeah,
that's my plan.
I'm back on Survivor. Those of you who are playing it, I'm back on Kobo. I didn't finish Coruscant because I got really annoyed because I'm at like 97.3%, and I'm like
97.
90 fucking 7. Really fucking annoyed at it. So I'm like, fuck you. I'm going back. One of the things that you can do in the new game that you can't do in Fallen Order is you can fast travel between your save points, like your meditation points. So you can fast travel between those two things.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. So if you're like, all right, I want to get back to the fucking, not the ghost, idiot. God damn, my brain sucks.
Whatever their ship is,
The ship.
it's okay. You don't hurt yourself.
No, Jason, you don't understand. It's fucking. Timmy! Fuck. I don't. God damn it. What's the name of the fucking ship? Tell me, chat, because I can't fucking remember. Don't make me stab Jason.
Dave's got problems, and yeah, please don't make him stab me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to blasting through that and hopefully moving on to Survivor soon. Also, I had an epiphany this week.
Oh yeah.
So it's been very well documented that I've never seen a James Bond movie, right?
Right.
This somehow comes up in conversation at work. And one of my coworkers is like pressing me. He's like, how have you just never seen a Bond movie? And then at some point in this conversation, like a switch flipped, like a connection, two synapses in my brain just like connected.
Right.
And it brought back a whole slew of memories that I'd completely forgotten about.
It's so smooth.
So small.
So smooth.
Over the last 40 years. And it finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh, right. I completely forgot this about myself. When I was younger, like early teenage, like adolescent into my teenage years, I fucking hated British accents. I hated them with a passion. I hated movies that featured people with a lot of British accents. And it bugged the shit out of me when a British player would play an American in a movie. And then they'd go do interviews and they'd be back in the British accent. I'm like, I know you can speak with a real accent. Why are you talking like that still in this interview? I hated British accent so much. It stopped me from like enjoying Monty Python for many years. Because just for some reason I fucking hated it. And that's why, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I never watched a Bond movie, because I hated his fucking voice.
So you wouldn't watch Sean Connery
No,
in a movie?
no, because he had a Scottish accent, but
that's his, like,
But
he's
still,
not
like,
faking the voice. Like that's his voice.
I understand
and he's
that.
playing a British character.
But I hated the British. I couldn't stand them and their stupid fucking accents. Sorry if we have any listeners from the UK.
Which we do. Thank you for listening and downloading.
Yeah, but no, I fucking hated their accents so much for so long. I eventually was able to get over it, but I just remember always fucking hated that. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, fuck, that's right. That's why I never wanted to watch a Bond movie. Was because I hated the way they fucking sounded. And then, like I said, I'd get pissed when I knew somebody could speak in a real accent, and then they'd go back to do the British accent outside of the movies. Like, you can speak American, do it.
It's remarkable. That is remarkable.
Now, that's not the way I feel now. Now I'm fine with it.
Yes, you've matured.
Yes.
Into this.
Yes.
What we see.
Whatever you're looking at.
Whatever this is.
Yes. I'm a fat, short, middle-aged thing.
That's all true.
I made you short?
All true.
That's a movie from 96.
96. Doesn't hit the same. It's just there's a lot to unpack. There just is. There's a lot to unpack.
Uh-huh.
A, B, I just like, so have you ever watched you watch nothing with Sean Connery in it? Like,
I saw the Robin Hood movie that he was in for like 2 minutes.
Huh.
What else did he do?
The Untouchables?
Never saw it. Never saw the Highlander movies.
Well, the Highlander, that doesn't count.
Okay.
You didn't see the one where he was like with the Japanese girl? It's John Williams soundtrack. What the fuck is the name of that? I couldn't remember the name of the Mantis. Thank you, Don. Earlier, the Mantis is the name of the ship. Chat provides.
That's great. A little late on that one. But.
Yeah, well, it's just my brain. But yeah, he was in a movie. He was like hooking up with this Japanese broad.
Was that one of the Bond movies?
No, it was just a random fucking movie with Sean Connery in it. He was banging this fucking hot Japanese broad. Okay. And he was all Scottish in it. I just don't. John Williams soundtrack?
You're going to have to give me more than that.
He was in...
Like a movie title.
I didn't... Yeah, and all the British accents in fucking Star Wars.
Right, and I hated all of those characters. I hated Tarkin back when I was a kid. I hated Mon Mothma. The Emperor has made a critical error and the time for our attack has come. Shut up.
So, sidebar. Fucking Star Wars sidebar here.
Mm-hmm.
So we were watching Empire or fucking Return of the Jedi, and I was like, look at her fucking face. Like, you know, the point I made that when we were doing this the other day, for our review, and I was saying, look at Mon Mothma's fucking face
when
as
Akbar comes up.
she's looking. She stares at Akbar for like 5 fucking minutes, and we saw it again in the fucking movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to tell Kathy, like, look at her, look at him. She's just staring at him. Like, it's so weird. Like, it's just mouth agape, just staring. It's like, it's disturbing. It's just disturbing. Yeah. Like, at what point, like, what stage direction is that? Is that like okay, it's a fish that's talking.
Yeah.
Like, how would you react?
Well, George is probably like faster, more intense.
Yeah. Like it smells. All right, it does. It smells a little bit. So make a face.
Just smells like fish.
Like, oh god, it's slimy. It's all slimy too. Like, I don't know. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, no, that was it. That was the last for my week. That
was it for your week?
Yeah.
The Bond epiphany. You hated British accents in your youth.
Yeah. But again, like I said,
you know what we need? We need a British doll, if such a thing exists. And then I want you to show me on the doll where it fucking hurt you.
I just thought it was annoying. I don't know what it was, man. I was a weird kid. And
I mean, Jason, I think that can be said for both of us. I mean, honestly.
That's fair.
I mean, look at what we do.
Yeah.
Like, this is who we are.
I mean, look at this.
Look at this. Somebody look at this. Look at this.
Or look at that pillow. It's like, come on. Does this look like the work of two mentally sound individuals?
Well, we didn't do that.
You
But we contrived it.
yes.
that was a product.
Yeah, that came straight from your head.
Oh,
and nowhere else.
So much of this came straight from my own head.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that later.
All right. But that's my week, though.
Oh, you want? Well, so let's talk about my week.
All right.
I did all kinds of shit last week.
Okay.
First off, I went and I saw the John.
Yes.
I took a couple days off.
How's he doing?
He's doing well. He was on the East Coast for some work, so I traveled down to DC to visit. It was funny. I went down to Andrews and hung out for a little bit, and it was
Bring back some memories.
weird, man. It was weird. Like, oh man, I used to be cool. I used to be so cool. It was like being TDY.
Yeah.
It really was. It was, hanging out with,
Was he in Billowding there?
No. He was staying downtown.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so just the vibe was it felt like TDY because it was me, him, and Liam. We went and played at Top Golf, and we were just bullshitting. And then John and I went downtown on King Street, and it just had a TDY feel, like especially because you could tell there's other TDY people around.
Yeah.
And just looking around at them, going like, I was once one of you.
Yeah.
Like I remember what that was like. And you people are schmucks. Like, I'm looking at how they're dressed, and I'm like, just because I'm dressed this way does not mean I'm an idiot. Like, I'm like, man, I should have dressed better when I was going out. I think there was just a lot of like weird, like kind of things. But overall, the visit was it was great.
Good.
It was a great little thing. So yeah, saying that, I forgot to add, we never talked about his idea for the fucking show. He had that idea for the show.
Right. Did he tell you what it was?
No, we never talked about it at all. He's like, how's Jason doing? I'm like, oh, Jason's doing good. And we talked about the show, like the current show a little bit. And, he listens when he's driving to work, because it's an odd hour when he's driving to work, and from our time, because where he's at. And, yeah, so we talked about the show, and then we started talking about other shit, and that idea never came out. So
right.
We'll have to. It'll come out eventually.
Okay.
Whenever that is, I have no idea. John, fucking text me.
I feel like this is being built up so much, and
Right?
it's going to end up just being like, oh yeah, you should talk about,
Right.
the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie or something. So,
Oh, speaking of, we should. I want to see that. Did you saw it, right?
the first one? Yeah.
No, the third one.
Yeah.
the newest one.
Yeah, I saw it with Bob.
That's right. You saw it down in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it. I need to see it.
I mean, I can see it again. It was entertaining.
Put a pin in that.
All right.
Anyway, so saw John on the way back, right? Because this was on Wednesday. So on the way back on Thursday, like I had a lodge thing, so I couldn't stay longer. It's like, before I hit traffic, I have to stop at the Air and Space Museum in DC. It's been under renovation forever, right?
Yeah.
They're if you've been there at any point in your life, like right now, like when you walk in, it's completely fucking different. Like shit's been moved around. It's a different place. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking stop. So John and I hanging out, I had a fucking couple glasses of wine and old fashioned, and I felt like I had drank. I'd been on a bender. Like I woke up like, oh God, I feel the worst ever. Like, cause I haven't imbibed in a while. So I was like, fuck. So it took me a half a second to shake that off, because I was going to wake up early and say goodbye to him before I he had to go do briefings. And I'm like, yeah, nope. Boop. Said my goodbyes last night. See ya. And fucking hit that alarm off. It's 6 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
So I fucking whoever's keeping the fuck count is gonna have a good episode today.
Yeah.
So I ended up at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? It's a timed entry thing, right? So if you're in the DC area right now and you want to get into the building because it's 3/4 of it's under renovation, you have to. It's a timed entry. It's still free, like everything else that's in DC. All those museums and everything are all free. But do crowd control, they have a timed entry. So I went in there. I was like, all right, I feel kind of shitty. And I have to drive. I know there's going to be traffic, so I'm going to put in like 11 o'clock, right? 11 o'clock, because finding parking and everything is a shit show. And I've been down there so many times. Like I kind of had an idea, like, okay, I'm going to try and park here. Then if that doesn't work, I'm going to try park over here. And then like it's a whole thing. So finally get my ass out of the hotel, fucking drive down. Of course, get stuck in traffic right around Reagan. Get stuck behind a fucking broken down Audi on the fucking bridge, like which one car stopped 6 lanes of traffic.
How does
somehow
that happen?
Exactly. Like fucking for some reason when people start driving around DC, they turn into complete fucking morons. It's like they take their shirts and just, all right, I'm gonna drive like this now because I'm a fucking moron. Ha 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 ha! Look at me.
Do they get a lot of Pennsylvania commuters? Is that?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking yeah. So drive by this Audi, and then everybody has to drive by it real slow. Like, we're not going to help you. We're just going to stare as we drive by. Like, it's fucking idiot. So anyway, I finally get into downtown, and I find a fucking spot to park, like right on the mall, right on Jefferson. I'm like, holy shit, look at this. It's fucking great. Get a 3-hour fucking meter spot, dude. Technology being the fucking best. I don't know how often you park in the city, but
almost never.
So if you're going to, there's almost all the meters now are you can use an app for. Like, and they have like, so, okay, here's my location. It'll show you the meter that's closest to you. You can go boop, 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 and you can fucking pay for however long you want. You never have to touch anything, and it'll fucking remind you on your phone if it's getting close, dude. It's fucking brilliant. Like, this is technology at its fucking finest.
Yep.
You should. There's no reason to get a ticket at that point unless you're deliberately telling the fucking city to go fuck itself.
Right.
So, dude, I find a spot, throw my I have like 5 or 6, like, because depending on what town you're in, there's a different fucking parking app. Not all, they're not monopolized. So throw my shit in, fucking go walking towards the Smithsonian, get in line, and the main entrance is closed if you go down there. This is Dave's walking tour of the fucking National Air and Space Museum.
Yeah.
So the front end of it's closed. You have to go around the back. I'm standing there, and I'm like, right, there's a queue, like there's a thing, line forms here, right? So it's me and like maybe half dozen other people, and it's like 10:30, and I have 11 o'clock fucking showtime. So I'm standing there, and then one of the ushers comes out. He's like, hey, there's 14 slots available if you go onto the app. I don't know why you would have to go onto the app when he says there's 14 slots available. It's like, okay, I'm going to go in now. Right. I don't know why it was so important that I fucking go into the app, because they're not tracking who leaves.
Dude, coming from somebody who worked for the government for over 20 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go into the fucking app. I get one of the slots. I'm like, sweet, I'm in. I go shooting in there and fucking hightail it right to the moon, like the new space exhibit that they have in there, because they have the main focus for me. I wanted to see Armstrong's fucking spacesuit.
It's his actual spacesuit.
It's the spacesuit that fucking walked on the moon.
Nice.
Right. So, without spoiling too much of it, but spoiling it anyway, because he walked on a fucking moon. It's all over the place. It's not, if you don't know, and
some people might question it.
Figure it out. Yeah, if you're questioning it, don't talk to me. I will push you into traffic. I'm not even.
I would love to find someone.
If somebody wants to try and have that conversation with me in my face, I will literally. That's not going to be a good experience. I cannot tolerate that level of idiocy. I really cannot.
God, I would love to find somebody who'd believes that that's true, and just bring them in here for one episode and just
I'd-
watch you talk to them or
I
strangle them or whatever.
I would be doing the world a favor by eliminating them from the gene pool. So I'm going to share my screen, and this was a picture of what it looks like. Dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Getting there to kind of stand there, and you're seeing the discoloration that's on there from the moon dust, you know, because they're on the surface, and then they fucking got back in and took off.
And weren't they falling on their asses a lot too initially as they were getting used to the gravity?
Oh
and all
yeah,
that?
like the bounce that, you know, you see them hopping around and shit that they're doing, you know, figuring out how to get around.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, it's the fucking first time, and just knowing that, okay, this was the first man-made, human worn fucking object that was on the surface of the moon. It's just it's just awe-inspiring. So I stood there and fucking stared at it probably for like uncomfortably for like 5 minutes, and took a bunch of pictures. And I'm telling you, if you have any inclination of history or science or anything else, and you are anywhere near the East Coast, I think you have to make your way to see it, because there's a part of me that's worries that sometimes this stuff is just going to disappear, right?
Be awful.
And like, for whatever reason, like if the suit deteriorates to the point where it can't be displayed. I mean, this has only just recently been displayed because they've figured out a way. Like it's a shame we can't put a link to it in the show, but Adam Savage did a tested video where he's talking to the woman who's like the head curator of in the Smithsonian, of people who do the spacesuits, and like all the shit that they did to help this stand and support itself without tearing the material. And there's actually like airflow within the fucking suit itself to like keep air moving, so there's not like you know, you're not getting certain areas where it might deteriorate a little bit more, and they're controlling everything they can possibly control. But at some point it can't be there indefinitely, right? So it'll either come down and get restored again or put back, or it won't.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to fucking drive by and not see this, because this was the first, right? This was the first. And I kind of mentioned it when I was, you know, visiting Chad and Carly, and it was, we're going through this now with Artemis, right? It's our opportunity to kind of get this. Like when we launch humans to the moon again, we're going to get this opportunity to, like, yeah, it's not the first time, but it's the first time for us, right? So these experiences that we're going to get more in high def, or not this grainy TV camera thing.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get to see things more better.
Yeah.
Dave, English motherfucker.
Whenever this fucking thing gets off the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least we got it around the fucking around the moon once, so now I just need to keep it going.
Yeah.
But like I said, I knew it was there. I knew it was on display. There's so much other stuff. I'm not going to get into it, because then we do a whole episode on just what's the fucking displayed there. But I will say that, like, that's, to me, is the main part of the exhibit. And then as you're walking out, like I walked out of this and then went into the Wright Brothers exhibit to see the Wright Flyer, because they have the, I don't know, have you been there before?
No.
So they used to have the Wright Flyer, like the 1903 no shit first in flight Wright Flyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. They had it suspended, right? So it was up, it kind of up in the air, and it just seemed like it was didn't seem like it was a real thing, you know, because they have some like kites that weren't real. They're kind of like, okay, this is kind of what it looked like or whatever. Now they have the Wright Flyers like right on the floor,
Okay.
so you can see it a little bit closer, and it just has more legitimacy. But anyway, so on your way out of the moon exhibit, you get to see these guys, and so you have Armstrong in the suit with the first human worn shit, and then this is the last human worn item is these fucking boots from Apollo 17.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's just a nice little like closure, and like when you're in close to these things and you're looking at all the fucking dust and all this shit on them, it's just like wow. It's just really, really cool artifacts that have never been displayed before are out there. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting out and seeing this. They have. I'll mention one more thing that they have on display there before I move on. They have the fucking on display. They have some of the shit, the experiments that they launched to the moon and were set up for when they landed.
Yeah.
Like not the Apollo 11 guys, but like later, like Apollo 15 guys. Mm-hmm. And there's a small like display on the display case. There's like this small bag, this like white bag. And in that bag, when Neil Armstrong passed, right? His family found this white bag in the closet of his bedroom when they were cleaning out his shit. They take this bag out and it's filled with like, just like a strap. It's got like this telescope fucking, eyepiece and a couple other random things, right? So the family brings it to NASA and says, "Hey, we found this in Neil's closet." Mm-hmm. They open it up. It's all shit from the lunar lander. Oh. Like he took like random stuff out of lunar lander, put it in this bag, put it in his personal shit because they had like small personal items that they could put in the capsule to come home with.
Yeah.
He put it with his personal shit and then put it in his closet and never fucking told anybody. So it's literally the only stuff they have from the Eagle.
Oh.
From the fucking lunar lander.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this shit that was randomly in Neil Armstrong's fucking closet.
Holy crap.
Like it's just bonkers to think about. Yeah, so it's so fucking cool. And this is what museums are about, right? This is especially like these national level museums and the care that goes into preserving these things and showing them. Get to these museums, get there early before all the little fucking kids get in there and they're running around doing their fucking scavenger hunts and shit. Because when I left, oh my God, there were so many fucking kids. And the line was going literally the 12 o'clock entry. Like I left as the 12 o'clock entry, like it was 11:30. I left and they were going down Independence Avenue down the side of the building and going around the corner to enter in at noon. So I was like, I got there right in fucking time.
Yeah.
Before it got fucking insane in there. So anyway, I say all that to give you the highly, highly, highly recommend getting down to DC and seeing this stuff because you never know when it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So fucking go do it, and you will do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it.
Next item for the week. I've been week deprived for a while, so I've been building up. It's the same. Ivo's not in here.
Yeah. It's all right. The chats, they're talking about all kinds of other shit. I saw Natalie Dormer and Anya Taylor-Joy being brought up.
Nice.
And whether or not they were hot or not. And
sneaker pimps. They're talking about music in '96 because that is the topic.
Yeah, okay.
Believe it or not. So Mother's Day was this past week, right?
Yep.
And so it's a thing, and I got my wife something because I had this epiphany, right? Mm-hmm. There's part of me that's like, you are not my mother. Why is this a big deal for me as the husband? And then I kind of realized something. It's my fault that you're a mom. Right? I participated in this event, making that woman a mother. Especially like as we talk about the music in '96, because in 1996, I made my then girlfriend, now wife, a mother. I did that. I participated in that. It took a whoop, boop, 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 boop. It took a whole lot of that to do this. So I kind of have more involvement in it than I realized in a very sticky, kind of gross kind of way. So I went to the mall and I went into the fucking you know what?
Which mall?
The Deptford Mall.
Okay.
The Pandora store. Have you ever been in one of those or walked by it?
I don't think so.
It's just like it's like a bracelet necklace thing. Yeah, see, I had sex. Yeah, Dave. At least twice. It's the Pandora store, like especially around these holidays, it's one of those stores like, oh, it's going to be packed because people are buying shit for wives, mothers, shit like that.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get Kathy a Pandora bracelet. So I'm going to get her for Mother's Day. So I went, and you have to go to the fucking store to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm committed. I'm going to the fucking store. So I went into the mall, which I hate because there's people there.
Mm-hmm. We know how much you hate people.
Yes. Fucking non-parking. Like, you know, cars aren't wide. They're not fucking 50 feet wide. There's no reason to park in a parking space the way people do.
Dude, you should
what
have
the
seen
actual fuck.
When I had to go to the VA hospital in Philly, the parking garage, every fucking car was taking up like a space and a half.
All right, let me that particular parking garage, there's a reason for that. Think everyone that's there is an order of magnitude fucking older and worse in eyesight than us. And more broken than us.
Right,
we're lucky they can operate a motor vehicle at all. If you can get out of there without a fucking minor accident, then you're doing good.
Yeah,
trust me on that.
I didn't
one.
think about that factor.
Right. That's not the worst one. But if you're at the Deptford fucking mall in your fucking Prius and you're catty corner into the fucking parking spot, your license should be taken away. Mm-hmm. You should not be allowed to operate a motor vehicle.
Yeah,
should not. And those people are out there taking up primo spots. Like, okay, you're parking there. Oh, and by the way, did you ever work at a mall?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. So
multiple times.
So one of the rules at the unwritten or not was that mall employees did not park in like premier parking, right? You parked away from the doors because customers would park closer to the doors, right?
Okay.
It's part of that customer service experience that somehow isn't a thing anymore. Nobody gives a flying fuck about the customer anymore. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no customer service. Like, oh, I'm going to sell you something. Oh my God. We had the worst. We had the absolute worst at Topgolf with me, Liam and John. Mm-hmm. This broad was just angry we were there.
Wow. Like
we were buying drinks and food and playing golf. We were there for almost 2 hours and like slamming beers into the fucking thing and just being like she worked at Dick's Last Chance or whatever. I was like, this fucking cunt needs to. I want to push her off the fucking thing. Like, oh, she's coming over here oh, I'm sorry. Whoa. Oh, we made the television. Damn, sorry. I don't know what happened. She just got in the way and we pushed. I don't know what happened. Anyway.
The homicidal thoughts of Dave Martin are not those of Jason Roskam.
It's Han Vader's fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fucking, what was I talking about? Mother's
Murder.
Day. Murder. The parking issue is in fact real. Anyway, I went to the mall.
Yeah.
I stood in line for the store.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to the front of the line and there was a woman there with a notepad taking names like you were at a restaurant. So that this is how crowded the store was. So that when there was somebody free, there was a list of people like, okay, this person was here in front of this person and blah, blah, blah. That's how busy this fucking place was.
Okay.
And I did a lap, and this store is not as big as the studio.
Oh boy.
Like from a floor space area. So there's like all these fucking people. I'm just like, I need to find something, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I did. This very, very nice sales girl. Is probably in high school. And I'm like, I want this. See this thing over here? I want that. Do you have that? She's like, yes. I'm like, I want that. Mm-hmm. And I want it with that. Do you have that? She's like, yes. I'm like, all right, please. And you will do it. and I need to get the fuck out of here. Sprinkle some crack on her. Let's get the fuck out of here. And that was it. And it turned out great, and Kathy loved it, and it was awesome. And that was the whole point.
Yeah.
But yes, we do indeed have some part in Mother's Day, believe it or not. How you deal with that in your own way is for you.
I'm under edict to not discuss Mother's Day on the podcast anymore. So.
Fair enough. So the other thing we did for Mother's Day was we went to Longwood Gardens. We've talked about Longwood Gardens before on the show.
Yeah, you definitely.
It's another one of those things. As I talk about tourism with Dave, if you're in the Philly area for an extended period of time and you're looking for something to do, Longwood Gardens is definitely one of those things. It's about 45 minutes outside of Philly, out in the Brandywine area
on the other side.
Yeah, it's south of Philadelphia, off of Route 1, but it's especially in the springtime, this time of year where you have so much blooming. It's big for Mother's Day. It's like big, like cops out directing traffic and everything else. So we went and force marched around, and thankfully we got there early before parking got super crazy. But yeah, it's an absolute must see. And there's a reason. Kathy wanted me to tell something about the fucking Longwood Gardens, and I fucking you're treading a dangerous path, my friend.
I know.
I forget. There was something that happened that she's like, "Oh, you need to talk about this on the show," and I fucking forgot. God damn it. Anyway, yeah.
I feel like actually something like that happened with me too, where I was supposed to talk about it on the show today.
It'll come back. Or Kathy will jump in and she'll remind me. Hey, did you talk about this? I'm like, no, I forgot. But until I remember, I do have something.
Yes.
For the Sacred Pops.
You mean
the Sacred Jedi Pops?
Yes. And I'm going to hand that to you.
Oh, man. First new addition from Dave to the Pops in quite some time.
Yeah, these are like ancient pre-orders.
Oh, one of those, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
When shit shows up and it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, this thing that we said wasn't going to show up till August. Here it is.
Yeah. So this is Darth Vader in the throes of death.
Right.
Laying on the ground.
Tell your sister you were right.
Helmet off.
And to somehow forgive me for all the atrocities.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a good guy now.
Of my life.
Yeah. I don't
How
know
about no?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but he's sitting down or kind of laying down. But yeah. Vader, you were right.
You were right.
In honor of the 40th anniversary of
yes.
Return of the Jedi.
Yes. And there is yet another.
There is another.
And honestly, there's some good 40th anniversary ones, and I might need to procure the others.
This is actually really well done. It is Wicket.
Yeah. When I saw it, I'm like, I get my, I'm not obviously an Ewok guy, but I definitely,
No.
When I saw it, I'm like, it's well done. I have to collect. Do you know how much fucking Thrawn is worth right now?
I think the last time we talked, you said he was like 70 or 80, right?
$390.
What? The Thrawn you have in here?
Yes.
God damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, what the fuck? Because I just happened to like the Funko app, it updated itself.
Mm-hmm.
And pro tip for those of us who are glasses enabled and getting older, dude, increasing the font size on my phone. Holy fuck!
No.
If that wasn't the best thing I ever did.
Not you, Dave.
Oh, Jason, change your life.
I still have so many memories of like older people like increasing the font of their email and stuff on their computer.
Bro, even look at it from here.
I can read it.
See how big it is?
I can read it.
It's the best. Oh God, it makes me so happy. You know what? Initially I was like, no, this is the worst. You know, God, I can't handle it. But then I'm like, yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
and it's and it doesn't hurt my face. So, yeah, you know, it's yeah. Sometimes you just gotta accept the fact that you're getting older, kid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I got fucking Wicked. I don't know why those two things are related, but yes, that's That's what happened. I've softened to this Ewok because because they're little terror creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there'll be more of the 40th anniversary because obviously Jedi was one of the more important versions of Star Wars in our lives.
Oh yeah,
for the beginning of all of this.
Mm-hmm. Everything you see here now.
Everything, and I can't remember what I was supposed to remember from Longwood Gardens. God damn it!
Yeah,
it might have been fucking sunscreen. I'm gonna go on a quick sidebar, real quick.
Sure.
Do you know what's really fucking annoying?
Sunscreen?
No, we're gonna put the sunscreen one aside.
Okay.
But sidebar to sidebar, you can buy sunscreen like a fucking like it looks like a deodorant stick.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it on, like it made my beard whiter than yours. Like it's like fucking it's like clear.
Do you like rub it on you like you would rub deodorant in?
And it's supposed to be better.
Huh.
Like it's my doctor actually recommended it.
Okay.
Anyway, fun fact, kids: use sunscreen. Cancer's bad. Fuck cancer. No, the fucking dude. We're at CVS, and I literally watched this dude fucking walk out of the store with a bottle of water and a bag of chips, just fucking snatch and grab right out of the fucking store. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And I'm just standing there. I'm just staring at him. I'm like, I just want to run him over with my fucking car. Because listen, there's supposed to be that part
You've
of my.
got a lot of homicidal thoughts today.
There's supposed to be part of my fucking brain that says, well, there's you have to have empathy for this person, right? Because they probably are down on their luck and maybe they need this and that. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. We live in a civilization where these consumer goods cost money, and people that are doing the right thing and paying for these goods are going to have to pay more because some fuckhead decides, oh, I'm just going to fucking walk out because the poor girl that's working the register in the front of CVS,
She's not gonna chase
what
him
the
down.
fuck is she going to do?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
But this is also why in a lot of these cities, these big retailers are just starting to pack up and just be like, all right, we're out.
Yeah, because shrink. It's stores call it shrink, but it's like it's unbelievable. I think I've told the story. Have I told the story on the pod about the Woolworth guy that I chased across the parking lot?
Yeah.
I mean, those days are gone.
Yeah.
They're not trying to catch people. They're just like, okay, they're on camera, they walk away, and then that's it. We write it off. And people know this, so they just fucking do it. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Kathy will tell you, I stood there for way too long. Like just, I literally wanted to like figure out where this dude went, and I didn't obviously.
Right.
Like this is what the medication is for, guys. But it just pisses me off. There's a narrative about society that I'm
Probably best if we don't go there today.
I know. But back in 1996, we didn't have to worry about these things, Jason.
That is true.
When people stole shit, you chased them.
Right.
And you called the cops, and the cops fucking chased them. And that's what you did.
Yeah.
Did we even have 911 in 1996?
Of course we did. Yes.
Not everybody's had 911.
Really?
Like, yeah. I remember back in even as early as, I know in 1990, because I had to use it, there was not 911
really?
in my town. Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure there was in mine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably needed it in California, but in suburbia, suburban Philadelphia, where I was at, there is, you still had to remember the number 228-4500 was the number to the police station, right? And there was something you had to memorize as a kid because there wasn't 911. I remember distinctly 911 became a thing in the 90s.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think it was
in my
available
area.
very, very early on in my area. That's interesting.
I'll bet you like the NEPA people, they probably didn't have 911 until later.
What's NEPA?
The Northeastern PA.
Oh.
The Dragon Buddies and the Kellys and
Gotcha.
the Swedes and all them.
Yeah.
The hill people,
Yeah.
which I love you, all of you, but yes, it's NEPA.
Yeah.
You got better air than we did, so yeah. No, see, there's no 911. Detroit had it in the 80s. Okay, again, that makes sense. Yeah, it just wasn't something that we had. You had to know the phone number to the police station.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes me want. I'm pretty sure we had it by 96 though.
I would fucking hope so. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I'm telling you, while I was in high school in the early 90s, we did not have 911.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember using it in God, I want to say 91 or 92. And I knew it was a thing long before that. Fucking weird. Anyway.
But 1996.
96.
Look, see, I tried the segue. That was my best. That was my best intention.
But then you kept getting off on more sidebars.
Look, this is what I do. This is a sidebar cantina, Jason.
That is your thing. So, yes, we were talking about the music of 96. Very interesting year, both for us personally and in popular music. And we're gonna dive deep into this. But first we're gonna do what we always do.
Of diving.
Let's talk a little bit about where we were
in
1996, because I can tell you from my perspective, the reason it was such an interesting year is because I shipped off to Air Force basic training in February 6th, 1996. So at the turn of the year, I already knew I was going into the Air Force. I spent January basically mentally and physically preparing myself for basic training, saying my goodbyes to everybody and
trading your cowboy boots for a pair of sneakers.
Not yet, because I wore those on my first day. But yeah, so for a good portion of 1996, I was kind of unplugged from society, really, because you've got the 6 weeks of basic training, and then even when you get to your first technical school, which I had 6 months at Keesler, just like you did down in Mississippi, those first couple of months you're still kind of locked down as well.
Right.
You get a little more freedoms as time goes on, but you're still kind of locked away and you're still kind of limited into what you can do. You don't have a TV of your own. You have to watch TV in like the day room, if you do at all. And
well, yeah, unless you found some cable and put in a splitter and had TV in your room.
Unfortunately, I was not that fortunate. So.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was really locked away from everything popular culture wise. And I have a funny story about that. That's not about music, but about movies. And then I got to New Jersey for the first time that year, October of 1996. I set foot in this wonderful state of ours and essentially never left. And it was weird. It was because, I'm away from home at this point. I'm living in this fucking state that's like all the way across the country from where my family and friends are. I don't know a fucking person here. And yeah, it was fucking a lot to deal with. And again,
you're lucky you made it this far, because some of the people you did end up fucking friends with you're lucky to have survived.
Yeah, Anal Jim was one of the first people I befriended after getting to New Jersey, and his, we've talked about him at length. Which, by the way, sidebar,
Anal Jim.
Yeah, I think one of my coworkers tried to fuck me last week.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was saw me go into a room. Yeah, pretty much. Like, because very flamboyant guy, not officially out, but there's questions. And I go into the room and I'm doing some of my cyber stuff, and he comes in and he's like, he's telling me some stuff that he did, and he's like, "Oh, do you need anything else?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "You sure you don't need anything at all?" And I'm just like, "I'm good." And then he kind of lingers for a couple more minutes and then finally leaves. I'm like, I think he was trying to get it in. Yeah. Anyway,
not everyone wants to fuck you, Jason.
I don't know that for sure, but
just keep your cheeks tight.
Right. Night. Keep your butthole tight. So anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Air Force. So yeah, I got here to New Jersey, and so funny story. Remember Rumble in the Bronx, the Jackie Chan movie, like the first big movie to like expose Jackie Chan to the world?
God, barely.
Yeah, that came out in like March of fucking 96. I was in basic training, no fucking visuals on that at all. So when I get out and like a year later, when everybody's talking about, oh, Jackie Chan this, Jackie Chan that, he's in all these movies, I'm like, who the fuck is that? They're like, the guy from Rumble in the Bronx. I'm like, what is that?
Who are you?
Yeah. So like I had no idea who this fucking Jackie Chan guy was until basically he got into Rush Hour. But another interesting story, when you're done with Air Force basic training, you get this opportunity for your family to come out. Now, I don't know if you had anybody come out for yours.
Yeah, my wife came out.
Yeah, my mom and
my girlfriend at the time.
right.
Yeah.
My mom and my grandmother came out. And when my mom was getting ready to come out, she asked me, like, do you want me to bring anything? I'm like, yes. Some of my CDs, because again, you're locked away. You don't get music. You don't get anything. And there is a picture that she took of me. I'm in my blues. This was the first day I got to meet her. She brought some of my CDs. I went into the little shopette that was there on base, and I bought a Discman, a Sony Discman, and I put in a fucking CD and put the headphones on, and I'm just like, oh. And I'm sitting in the back of her rental car, and the picture is just me, just like, oh, like just listening to music for the first time in 6 weeks. And I'm pretty sure it was Jagged Little Pill that I put in and I was listening to in that picture.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
I should have asked my mom to pull that out, but it was just a great picture, and it's just, indicative again of how important music was to us. In these early stages of our lives, where that was like the first thing I wanted to do was just listen to some music and just kind of like chill for a few minutes and get away from all the fucking madness that I'd been experiencing for the
What
previous 6 weeks.
squadron were you in basic?
331st. Yeah, because we were the 332nd at Keesler, and I was the 331st at Lackland.
Okay. 331st or 321st?
I want to say 31st, because weren't we the 332nd at Keesler?
We were.
Yeah, because I always thought it was weird that I was like in sequential squadrons from one right to the next one.
Because I was in the 323rd at Keesler, basic.
Yeah, no, because we were like one of the last ones, like way on the far end of the fucking, because there were the big complexes. There was like 10 fucking buildings. We were way on the end over here.
Oh, that would explain it.
Yeah, kind of the outcasts.
Yeah, you fuckers had it easy out there.
Whatever, man.
That goddamn Disneyland out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know it was. Stop it.
I don't know.
I'm in the fucking House of Pain, and you're fucking living the life out there in fucking Disneyland.
I don't understand what that has anything to do with the current subject and the
right.
But
anybody who knows, yeah. See, Carly was in the 331st.
Oh, no shit.
And so was Swede, apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Helmet Fire was in the 320th.
I went to the old 331st building like a couple of weeks before they tore it down.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, this happened in 2016. No, 2018.
Okay.
I was out there in 2018, and they had torn down all of the other BMT buildings except for those last three, which the 331st
that must have been
was one of
late
them.
in 2018 when you did that. Like, when was that? Because I was there in like February.
Yeah, it was like October of 2018.
Yeah, because I was there in like January. They were talking about taking the buildings down. Because I wandered into that area. Like, I'm in civilian clothes, right? I just like parked. I'm standing there, and then I'm watching them parade, like out on the fucking parade ground or on the blacktop.
Yep.
And I'm just like having flashbacks, and fucking 22 years before or whenever, and I'm just looking at the buildings and just thinking about shit. Like, in the 331st, did they have the fucking cardboard cutout fucking people?
No.
So we're about to discuss the difference between fucking basic training for one Jason and one Dave, and I guess fucking Swede, since he was there at the same time, and Carly too, because she was there in 95. 95. So in the House of Pain, right, when you were walking around the building, they had like cardboard cutouts of TIs and fucking officers and shit like that. So when you came around the corner and you encountered this cutout, you had to render the appropriate action to it. And if you didn't, they jumped out of the fucking dude, literally jumped out of shit and fucking would harass you. Like, I am not kidding. I have fucking pictures that were taken of these cardboard cutouts. Like people walking around like, what is this? Like some chief master sergeant with a campaign hat, cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Like standing there, right next to where the fucking laundry is. So you come down the stairs and come around the corner, and all of a sudden there's a fucking cardboard cutout, and you have to fucking talk to it with your reporting statement and everything else. And if you don't, you're lit up right fucking there. And dude, I swear to fucking Christ, this was how it was. There was like you were constantly on the brink of fucking just like like you. It was a different fucking experience being
Apparently.
And everyone else I talked to was in other basic training areas. They didn't do this shit. Did you eat in all squares?
No.
We had to eat in all squares.
Right. Well, I was on the chow runner team too, so I had to eat last.
No,
and
everyone
I had to eat
that fucking every single person had to fucking like. Did you have to at least do the thing where your table had to be full before you sat down?
Yeah.
And then when you sat down, you didn't eat in all fucking squares?
Again, I ate after everybody else. I don't know what the fuck the rest of the flight did, but I was one of the 3 people that had to eat last.
Yeah.
We had very, very quickly.
We had to eat like this, right? As fast as you possibly could.
Yeah.
And then you wait, like the first person that was done, like you had to time it out right, because if they saw out of the snake pit, if they saw that one of you was done, they would get all of you up, regardless of whether the other person was done. So you had to like eyeball everyone and like, okay, I'm taking my time a little bit more, but then like you were only going as fast as the fastest guy. Jeez. Then boom, everyone was fucking out. Dude, it was a fucking like they did this shit on purpose.
Of course they did.
And it was like, what the fuck? Oh my God, the shitbag experience. I told the shitbag story, didn't I?
I don't know.
The shitbag. Oh my. So again, we're talking about Jason's fucking basic.
Right.
Like Jason doesn't have these stories from basic training because he fucking like la 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 la.
That is not how my basic training was.
Really?
Just,
well, then,
yeah.
then you tell your basic training stories, because I have 1,000 of them. Every fucking day was one of these experiences.
I think I've blocked it all out. Honestly.
Oh my God. Oh, it's all going in the book.
Okay.
It's all my shit's going in the book, dude. It's and Swede brought out here. This had to bring some memories back. Dorm guard, Dorm B5. May I help you?
Oh yeah.
I was in Dorm B5.
Yeah.
We had in my flight. We were the Alert 5, and we were the only ones who were allowed to pull overnight guard duty, like because everyone else fucked it up so goddamn bad that our TI was like, you are the only ones that are going to do this. There was 5 of us. So we were the only ones that pulled overnights. And we ended up having to do it for other flights. You do it for the baby flights.
Yeah.
So there was no sleeping. There was no sleeping.
So I do have one story to tell.
Yes, tell a fucking basic training story.
I feel like I might have told the story before, but so when they're first lining you up, you get off the bus and you're lining up, and you pick up your gear and put it down, pick it up, put it down. For some reason, I had this genius idea because the 49ers had just won the Super Bowl like the year before, and I was wearing my 49ers jacket.
Oh, God.
Because it was February. It was a little chilly out.
Right.
So I wore my 49ers jacket. So this one TI, because, and you're supposed to be standing there at attention, looking straight, not looking anywhere else.
Right.
And I can feel this TI right beside me, looking at me. And then his head just gets closer and closer. And again, I can't look at him. I'm just looking straight, and I'm just like, oh. And I can feel him getting closer and closer. And he's like right there, right beside my face. And then he just goes, hey! And like as loud as he could, yells right in my ear. And I fucking jump, and I could hear the other TIs laughing behind me.
Dude, it was...
And he told me to take the jacket off. That's what it was about. He's like, get that fucking jacket off.
Nice. Yeah, because dude, in today's, there's no... I'm not going to say it like it's Air Force basic training, right? This is not Paris Island, right? This is not Full Metal Jacket, obviously. Yeah. Like even my experience was not nearly like ours is more of a mental breakdown, much more than a physical breakdown.
Right. Yeah. It's not like most of the other branches.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, I don't know why the squadron I was in decided that they wanted to be this fucking group of hard asses, but that's what they were, and they had this reputation, and they were, God damn it, they were going to fucking have it.
Yep.
And I just got lucky enough to fucking be in there.
All right, let's move this along because we've only got like, I don't know, 50 minutes to actually talk about the music before Miss Lopez comes out and makes her statement and everything. So real quick, what were you doing in '96?
I was making babies apparently.
Yeah.
Yes, so really what happened was, Kathy got pregnant and I was working at the airport at the time.
Yep.
And not making a lot of money. I mean, it was a great job. I loved it, but there was no upper mobility. It was not a sustainable career for trying to like have a family.
Right. And were you living by yourself at the time, or were you still living at home?
No, I actually had an apartment. I think I was still in the apartment that it was actually Kathy's aunt's. Like it was like over her, like it was above her house. They had an apartment, so I was renting that. Then ultimately I ended up just moving in with her parents, like as it got closer to baby being born, just because we didn't have any real place. Like that apartment situation didn't work out because her cousin was an absolute insane person.
Yeah.
And so in order to, I don't know, not be a fucking drain on society, I was like, I got to do something. And I had been kicking around the idea of joining the military. I come from a military family.
Yeah, you had it in your blood.
Yeah. And I turned 21 in 1996. So yeah, I had already discarded college, at this point, and I was really just kind of listless. I'm like, all right, I want to do this thing. And at the time I was looking at the Coast Guard thinking, oh, I go to the Coast Guard, I can stay in New Jersey, be down in the shore in Cape May, and it'll be great. And then the more I found out about it, I was like, oh no, you're going to not be in New Jersey. You're going to be on a boat. You don't like boats. So why would you do that? That's dumb. So I'm like, this is not a good idea. And at the airport, I was working with the late Harold Miller, Chief Miller, at the Guard, and Calvin, who worked sheet metal.
Okay.
They worked. Calvin and I actually worked with at American because that's where he worked at nights. He was a technician during the day, and Harold, obviously, he was a technician also, and then he worked for Airborne Express. He was a kind of a freelance mechanic, and I pushed out that airplane on overnights, and those guys kind of talked me into taking a look at the Guard. So drove out there and talked to a bunch of people and decided, all right, I'll press the test on this. Took the ASVAB. I still had it in my head that I was going to try and still become a cop. I laid a lot of groundwork with like people, my dad's friends, and Masons and everything. And like, this is what I want to do. And
you have the homicidal tendencies. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to be in Camden, a cop in Camden. Because that's a lot of these guys were in Camden, and the idea was, at the time, what you would do is you go, and if you were in the police force there, then you go, you do like a tour of duty there, and then you could get hired by another municipality, and get basically a huge pay bump because you were just basically in Beirut.
Yeah,
and you go out and work in Cherry Hill, which is fucking a cush job, comparatively. So that's what I wanted to do, and my dad basically was like, "No, you're not doing that.
Wow,
you're not gonna go to fucking work in Beirut. That's not a good plan." So I ended up joining the Guard, and instead of becoming a cop, which when you take the ASVAB, even in the 90s, like you take the ASVAB, you can score to a point where it's like, oh, I want to be a cop. And like, if the ASVAB score gives you a book about yay thick, so smear.
Yeah.
So small.
But if you score well, then the book you get for jobs is about yay thick.
Yep.
About the, like your fist. And they're like, you don't want to do that job. Like, you could do all of this. You can pick any one of these jobs. And I liked airplanes. I've been working at the airport for fucking 3 years at that point. And I want to work on airplanes. So I become a fucking avionics guy and get all signed up. And then, went basically on pattern delay, waiting for Jeff to be born. He was born that year. So it was bing, bang, boom. I didn't leave for basic. I was enlisted. I was going up for drills. Starting in June.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't leave for basic because I wasn't going to leave before he was born.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have made it back. So I ended up not leaving until January.
But you were still part of that unit.
Yeah. So
in '96.
I still went and drilled and got paid and everything else.
Good.
Got an idea of like what was going on. The only thing I couldn't do is I couldn't do the extra ATDs and shit like that.
Yeah.
But hello.
Antivirus.
Yeah. So anyway, and that was pretty much it. I got baby Jeff and gonna go be something with my life and go take this job as a fucking not really a job per se because it's not guaranteed full time because it's with the Guard. The full time stuff doesn't come till later when I get the active duty gig and then all that stuff changes.
Yeah. But
this is like, hey, I'm getting a far greater education and training and ability to get something better on the outside as a civilian than I would if I just stayed here at the airport and tried to kind of work my way up into positions that are still only going to pay slightly more. So that was it. That was 1996.
All right. So we were both in very important year for both of us.
Yeah.
Really.
Huge change.
Yeah. We're becoming adults.
Yeah. That was the big delta. I mean, honestly, if that's the delta V I think for both of us is in that same year.
Yeah. Which is, it's interesting. So we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. And that's the old this or that polls.
Yeah. God, I didn't even look at it because I forgot.
Yeah. So did I. I didn't get a chance to actually vote myself.
So I can't wait.
Yeah. And again, we would like to thank Luna Girl for putting this together for us.
Yes.
And we got some interesting ones on here. Starting off with,
yes, very interesting.
This song had guitar riffs stuck in your head for days. I would like to rename this. This song had guitar riffs that put you to sleep. This was the Wallflowers' One Headlight versus Seven Mary Three's Cumbersome. I thought these songs were both super fucking boring. I never liked either of these groups. The Wallflowers, it was all because of fucking Bob Dylan's kid was the fucking the lead singer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found both of these bands to be very boring.
So what's the question? Which one is more boring, or which one?
Well, that's for me. But I guess it's really which one did you like more? One Headlight versus Cumbersome. Which I guess I'd pick One Headlight, but neither of these songs.
I'd probably lean that way too.
Yeah,
honestly.
So, but Cumbersome won 55% to 45%, pretty close. The next one, this album had you thrashing again. I was not really attuned to either of these. It's Prodigy's Fat of the Land or Korn's Life is Peachy.
I wasn't Korn didn't come to me until later, I think.
Yeah. I was more aware of Korn for their first album.
Right.
Because, again, they were from my hometown. So, kind of hard to miss that. But, I when their second album came out, I was off doing military stuff, so it never came across my I don't even know what fucking songs are on that album or if I've ever heard any of them. I'm aware of Prodigy. I had some friends that were big into Prodigy, but I'm just nah.
Right.
So I guess if I had to pick, I'd pick Korn just because
hometown heroes.
Yeah. But and they did win 67% to 33%.
Yeah, we have a metal crowd.
Yeah. This music chilled you out. We've got Bone Thugs and Harmony versus the Fugees.
Oh, the Fugees. The Fugees are going to chill you out way more.
See, I picked Bone Thugs. I didn't like the Fugees, but I love Bone Thugs and Harmony.
There's a couple of songs by the Fugees that the Killing You Softly
well,
song.
Yeah, that's the big one that came out this year in '96 was Killing Me Softly.
Yeah.
And that kind of skyrocketed Wyclef and Lauryn Hill and all that.
Yeah, that tune just by itself, that tune is might show up later in others deserving mention.
Well, and it's interesting too because I didn't care for the song back then. Over time, I've grown to appreciate it more, so I could see that. But Fuji's did win 54% to 46%. Another close one. This is a good one. Your pop queen, Mariah Carey versus Celine Dion.
Well, I know what yours going to be.
Well, see, that's it. See, you say that.
Oh.
But I'll get, I titled this the year the music died. This one of the things that started dying for me was my love for Mariah Carey was starting to fade starting in this year. And Celine Dion, she was kind of the new hotness, and believe it or not, Celine Dion at one point was quite attractive, especially at this point in '96. If you watch her music videos, now she just looks like a fucking rubber glove stretch over a skeleton. But back in '96, she was quite the looker. And I'm just gonna stop talking when you start fiddling with Legos because it's no point.
They're like, look at how it's bagged.
It's bagged like every other fucking Lego set.
Yeah, I know, but it's like.
All right, we've talked about music for like 2 minutes so far, and we've been live for like 2 hours.
An hour and 20 minutes.
So anyway, Celine Dion won 67% to 33%. And then you love this new sound, quote unquote, Jewel, Pieces of You versus Alanis Morissette, but Alanis had already been out. But
right.
And we're going to get into, 96 was just as big of a year for Alanis as 95 was, if not bigger. But yeah, we got basically Jewel versus Alanis.
Yeah, I think Alanis is going to win.
Yeah, she's going to win. But I mean,
I liked the Jewel sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Jewel. I liked her first two albums. I thought they were both pretty decent.
You love me,
In the on Instagram, it was a dead heat between One Headlight and Cumbersome. It was a slam dunk for Korn, 83% to 17 over Prodigy.
You mean on Twitter?
Is this Twitter or is this Instagram? Oh, probably Twitter. Yeah, you're right. Fuji's won more handily, 62% to 33%. Mariah Carey, a complete swap for these two. Mariah Carey won 80% to 20% on Twitter.
Cleavage overtook Canadian.
Yep. And then Angst, 100% over Jewel. So, Alanis.
Right.
100%. Clean victory. And
Yes.
also, when we get to our top five, I have the Cantina's top five as well. So we
Excellent.
we can intermix that in. But
Excellent.
before we get into that now, I want to get to some other music topics. Some things that happened in 1996. The big one that I still remember, all of the fucking hoopla and everything else, was Metallica cutting off their hair.
Right.
And releasing Load.
Right.
And oh my God, because there were the hardcore people who followed Metallica before the Black Album and even before like One. What album was One on? Was that
And Justice for All?
Justice for All, yeah. They thought the Black Album was like their fucking sellout album.
Right.
So, there was some mumbling about that. Then fucking Load comes out. They chop off all their hair and, they really come out with a different sound, but it's not that different, but it's different enough.
Right.
To where, people are just like fucking pitchforks and torches, and people lost their shit over this whole fucking new Metallica.
Dude, I do remember when this was happening, like almost real time, and I honestly Metallica was like at a distance for me at this point. Like the Black Album was probably the last one for a while that I had listened to. Like Load, the Reload, like except for a couple of exceptions, I was like it just wasn't something I was listening to. And I'm in that camp where like the Black Album was great. I loved it, but it was not the same Metallica.
No,
It's good music. And let me caveat this. I'm gonna caveat I think what people maybe have to appreciate, and if you're listening to this now and like, oh, this is a music episode, right? Dave likes to listen to music. Dave doesn't like to analyze music. So a lot of the things that makes maybe music more educational or ethereal, it doesn't do those things for me. Like I liked the Black Album.
Yeah.
I liked And Justice for All. Same band, two different sounds, and I can appreciate that. And then when they had a new sound, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's like, okay, and that's fine. I'm not going to listen to that. And it's just kind of how Dave is. That's how Dave operates.
Yeah.
Slightly autistic Dave and how he has his eccentricities are. So I'm probably missing some of the nuance and the technical side of the music.
Sure.
When it comes to shit like that.
Well, and see, I'm kind of the opposite. I do like to sort of overanalyze the different things going on within a song. And, I can see both sides of the argument. Obviously, if you're a hardcore Metallica fan, you've been used to this one sound and they come out and they completely do a fucking 180 on you. I could see from a band who's been supporting them, or from a fan who's been supporting them from the very beginning, as almost kind of a betrayal. I can actually see that, and I don't fault them for thinking that way. On the other hand, I also am fully down with artists trying new things, trying to take their art in a completely different direction, because at the end of the day, it's their music. It's what they want to do, and it's what's making them happy, hopefully. Well, and
what's really, as we turn into old men, right? It's can appreciate more the fact that our outlook on life changes to the point where how could you possibly continue to make the same music, the same sound? Your body doesn't produce the same way. Like, listen to Aerosmith in the fucking 70s and then listen to them in the fucking early 90s.
Yeah, very different.
It's music, like this. The lyrics and the songs are the same, but they sound different because they're fucking older.
Right. And
they're 25, almost 30 years later.
Yeah, and there's precedence for that. Like you said with Aerosmith, think about when we talked about the Beach Boys and Pet Sounds and how big of a departure that was, but how it ended up being something great. Same with the Beatles and Sgt. Pepper.
I don't know if the Beach Boys is a good example, because when I went and saw the Beach Boys last summer, or the Beach Boy, Mike Love, he's still really, really trying to sound like that. Yeah. That same sound. And it can be tough to listen to sometimes.
Yeah. But like I'm trying to say, like, I could understand it from the artist's perspective, wanting to grow and change and do different things. So, but at the end of the day, Load just did not please most of the current Metallica fans. I'll just say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Slash left Guns N' Roses in '96, which was the beginning of the end of Guns N' Roses.
Thank God.
Well, because again, I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan, more than Metallica at that point. I loved them both, but I was still loyal to Guns N' Roses through thick and thin. And it was quite upsetting for me when finding out that Slash left, and it was a snowball after that. Like, everybody except for Axl left over the course of the next.
Did you
have
years. A Guns N' Roses jean jacket?
Jean jacket? No.
But
I had a T-shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, everyone had a Guns N' Roses. I didn't, but everyone else did.
Yeah.
Sidebar: did you know did we talk about Bruce Springsteen having a fucking holiday in New Jersey now?
No.
Yes, Bruce Springsteen. It was announced that Bruce Springsteen's birthday is now a holiday in New Jersey.
Oh. You know who's probably still going to work that day?
Us.
Yeah, all of us.
Do you know who also fucking can't stand Bruce Springsteen? Me.
Yeah.
I fuck you. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
When I heard that shit, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is what you're concerned about? Like, you have to go make this announcement. Like, you how about you go on the floor and actually put to vote you know what? Never mind.
All right, fair enough. So some more band breakup news that happened in '96. Sammy Hagar leaves Van Halen.
Right.
And then just a couple months later, Van Halen shows up at the MTV Music Awards with David Lee Roth.
Right.
And I remember this happening, and I'm like, oh shit, they're getting back with David, because I was always an old school Van Halen fan.
Yeah.
With David Lee Roth. And it took me a long time to accept Sammy Hagar. And even then, I'd never quite embraced him the way I did.
Yeah, it's the Van Hagar.
Yeah.
It's again, it's different. It's a different band.
Yeah. So,
but Eddie was Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah. Eddie was always Eddie. But they all show up together. I'm like, oh shit, they're getting back together with David Lee Roth. They released that anthology album where they recorded 2 new songs with David Lee Roth. I'm like, oh, this is great. The band's back together. And within, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, it was announced that, David Lee back, and there's this whole story about what happened backstage with fucking Roth and Eddie Van Halen and how they had like a big fucking fight, because of the press conference right afterwards.
Right.
So it's like as soon as they fucking kind of like start mending fences, over. And then they announce like maybe another month later that Gary Cherone of Extreme was joining Van Halen,
which I never accepted.
Yeah, me either.
Never.
Never.
It was like, no, never.
And nobody else did either,
No,
because that lasted one album.
Yeah.
So
like go back to more than words.
yeah. And I hated that fucking song too. So that was like that was just an extra slap in the face for me, because I fucking hated Extreme at that point.
Why?
And
yeah, it was like, why? That was your guy? It was almost like, all right, let's pull a joke. Who lyrically this is going to sound horrific?
Yeah.
Let's get this guy just to piss fucking Dave off.
Right.
David Lee Roth off. Let's just he's just going to cringe every time Van Halen comes on the radio.
Yeah, this guy's going to be the anti-charisma.
Right. We want him. And hey, can you sing fucking Hot for Teacher? Let's hear that. Oh, that sounds horrible. You're in. No, let's do it.
We'll rub that right in David's face.
Here, record this right now. I gotta play it on this guy's phone.
Yeah. So we had some notable deaths in 2006. The big one was Tupac.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was he had released his album. The fucking big one. Hold on, let me find it before I.
That's a good album title. The fucking big one.
Yeah, the fucking big. No, All Eyes on Me. It was a double album. It was apparently the first rap double album ever released, and it sold like fucking hotcakes.
And the last.
Yeah, because it was only a few months later he got killed in a drive-by shooting. And what? I missed it. Dave singing is making the dogs freak out. Oh, it's good. Way to go, Dave.
Oh, God.
But
sorry, Murphy.
yeah, he fucking died. But within months of him dying, the first of what would be many post-death albums by Tupac would be released.
Tupac's not dead.
Yeah, Tupac lives.
Yes.
I love that fucking Chappelle Show sketch. That's like the only one from that third Lost season that I really liked. But yeah, it was done by his
excuse me,
his pseudonym Machiavelli, the Don Killuminati, and
easy for you to say.
Yeah, and I remember
I'm
that.
Still recovering from that burp. Hang on a sec.
I remember when that album came out too, because this was when I was living in the dorms on base in Jersey, and it was like 2-door room, and you shared a bathroom with 2 other guys, and the guys across the way had the fucking Machiavelli album, and they played it like all day long. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? He's like, Machiavelli. I'm like, who? He's like, Tupac. I'm like, oh, okay.
Isn't he dead?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Give you a solid maybe on that one.
Yeah. Well, okay. Since we're talking about this, I'm going to click on Tupac on Wikipedia and then look at his discography just to see.
Just to see how many albums he produced after he died.
Yeah. So, all right. No, that's filmography. We want his discography. He was in. Okay. So, he was killed in 96.
Right.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums released from 1996 to 2006.
Wow. That's fucking, it's a productive career.
Yes, yeah. He released more albums after he died than before.
Jesus.
Yeah, he must have had a lot of shit in the can. And it must have all been at least good enough to fucking...
He said shit in the can.
Shit in the can, that's right. So anyway, back to some of the other headlines. Or anything on Tupac?
No.
Okay. The lead singer of Sublime, Bradley Nowell, died.
Yeah.
Sublime, they had that breakout album.
Huge album.
That just released, like, again, a couple months before he died. They had Santeria on. I don't practice Santeria.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, and like
that was one of those Guitar Hero songs that was like super like just it's just fun to play on Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm. And again, they filmed the music video for that after he died, so they used some like footage of him and they turned it into like a ghost. The same thing the fucking Bone Thugs and Harmony did with Eazy-E when they did the Crossroads after he died. So yeah, twice now in this year. fucking people died right before or right after they their big breakout album hits, which is it's a real shame.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It is.
I don't know if it was cocaine, but I'm sure it was drug related.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, here's an interesting thing. So in 96, the internet was still kind of in its infancy. Really, only a lot of early adopters still had it. By the end of 96, I had a what they called a web TV. I don't know if you remember those. But yeah, it was like a little box you connected to your TV, and it gave you the internet on TV, and you could still email and look at websites and all that. But it was still, like, the internet was still in its crude, not widely adopted phase yet.
Right.
But I did not know this until I was doing research on the music of this year. In 96, David Bowie's single Telling Lies became the first song offered as a digital single by a major record label.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that happened in 96. So what we see now with the fucking Apple Music and all of that shit, this was the starting point for that. A major label putting out an all digital single.
Oh my God, what the fuck would that have sounded like, and how long would that have taken to fucking download?
Oh yeah, you're downloaded for at least 20, 30 minutes.
Because in 90,
to get that 3 minute song.
96, there was...
It's all dial up at that point.
Well, yeah, and it's fucking... You were still... Like, 56K was not quite, like, the standard yet.
Yeah,
I
think that became the standard towards the late 90s as far as like the modems.
Because I remember when I was doing when I was building computers in 98, 99, like 56K baud was it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you were getting like they were putting 10 by 100 Ethernet cards into computers for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Like I was there, like 3Com showed up at our building at CompuCom, and there was a huge pig roast fucking party. Like, we got t-shirts, like the whole fucking thing for their release of this 10 by 100 Ethernet card. It was like this big fucking deal, 100 megabyte throughput.
Yeah,
it was a fucking thing, and that was in 1998. So you're talking in 96, you're still like eking out some fucking 36K baud if you're lucky, and you're getting your good AOL connection. I think I had Earthlink in 96.
Oh yeah, I think I had that because that was one of the free ones, right?
Well, yeah, it was free.
Wasn't that the one that was free, but you always had to have like a massive ad bar at the fucking top?
You did, but you could. I think you could pay a certain amount, and it would actually be. It would eliminate the ad bar and give you more more bandwidth, like allegedly.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was, because I had it was Dave K. Martin at earthlink.net was like one of my first major email addresses until I got in the military, and I had a Hotmail account that I kept forever.
Mm-hmm.
It probably still exists out there in the ether somewhere.
Yeah, I tried accessing my old Hotmail account years ago and I couldn't get in, so I'm like, it's probably
It wouldn't let you.
Done and gone. Yeah,
If somebody compromised your fucking Hotmail account,
probably. So it's long gone. So all those original emails between me and Kristen in our first year of dating are all gone. Probably.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. There's probably some things in there that don't need to be repeated.
Yeah, probably. So anyway, getting back to some of the stuff going on in 96, I put this little note in here. You know, while we were jamming out to the Macarena because that was the top song of 1996. The number one selling single was fucking Macarena. It was fucking everywhere that summer. Everybody was doing. My cousin got married at towards the end of 96, fall of 96, and everybody was doing the fucking Macarena there. It was just exactly so. But while we were all jamming to the Macarena over in the UK, this new group called the Spice Girls had started releasing their new single called Wannabe. Now, that wouldn't make it to U.S. shores until January of 97, so there's no point in talking about that now.
Right.
But that just kind of gives you a little taste of what's to come when we do the music of 97.
Jason's going to get into the Spice Girls a little bit, isn't he?
I may or may not have owned both of their albums.
Oh, boy.
Known the lyrics to all of the songs.
Oh, boy.
Maybe even bought a VHS tape or two.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, well, but again, that's in a year.
Jason has a Posh Spice fucking poster.
She was my favorite. Well, no, see, I take that back because I went back and forth between four of them being my favorite. I never liked Sporty.
Right.
I thought she sounded weird. I thought she looked weird. She was never thing. But I went through the other 4, like liking them as my favorite for periods of time. So, but again, that's the music of '97. But I just wanted to plant that little seed.
I just had this image of like, okay, here's the left hand after sitting on it for a while.
If you're ever giving yourself a stranger,
then right hand after sitting on it for a while. And then sporty, like, no, I don't have enough hands.
Yeah.
I wish I had more thumbs.
So I took this one out just because I thought this was hilarious. A young lady named Meg White marries John Anthony Gillis, who took on Meg's last name and changed his name to Jack White. They would form the White Stripes 1 year later.
Yeah.
So
The more you know. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Which is weird to me because it's weird to think that the White Stripes were together in '96 because I didn't know dick about them until, what was it, 2003, 2004? When Seven Nation Army came out for the first time.
Yeah,
that was
honestly.
that was my first exposure to them. But
Yeah.
I know they had other music out there.
I think I saw them in South by Southwest
Yeah,
at some point.
like before they became
in the
big.
2000s. No, it was after Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
Do you hear is somebody having a conversation out there?
Sounds like it.
Do you hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
It's not just the voices in your head.
Like, oh my god, they're really loud today.
I got some pills for that, for the voices.
Okay,
So-
I can't take any more pills.
Okay.
If I take more pills, I'm either gonna go completely one way or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
That's the
So something else I wanted to bring up. Again, this is a topic that we could actually do a whole episode on. And this is the Telecommunications Act of 1996.
yeah. So you texted me while I was driving, so I didn't really get a chance to look into this too much.
Yeah, because this act, enacted by the President Clinton and Al Gore, and
I do not have sexual relations with that woman.
this was a couple years before that. But the internet was starting to become big, and they're like, oh, this internet thing is going to be really big, and we need to make sure that we're able to properly regulate this, but we're not sure how. So they went to all the telecom companies, and they're like, how do you want us to write this new legislation to start regulating things? And they're like, oh, we've got some ideas. And essentially what the Telecommunications Act of 1996 really did was deregulate the shit out of pretty much everything telecom when it came to like telephone lines, cable lines, radio, all of that. Essentially just deregulates the shit out of it because in their mind, at least the way they were selling it was, this internet thing that's becoming big is we're going to get it to everybody. And it's going to be so cheap, and your cable TV is going to get cheap because of all this competition and everything.
Right.
What actually happened is this began the massive consolidation of telecommunication companies to the point where we have like 3 major companies now, where we had fucking dozens back then. The reason I bring it up because it also affected music and it affected radio stations.
Right.
Because the same thing, radio stations were fucking owned by just like tons of different owners. And then all of a sudden they took away the limit to how many radio stations companies could own, and just
Yeah.
they just got
So
all
now,
fucking
like, Clear Channel owns, fucking damn near everything.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
So you're not getting any real variety, and they're driving shit. Even their political motives are driving what kind of content they're having on their radio stations. And
Yeah.
it's just severely limits. You're watching DJs, longtime DJs, even on stations like MMR. They're being let go.
Yeah.
Because of not because of political ideologies, but just because like
It's money saving.
yeah, it is like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't need you. Like, I'm a Sirius XM guy,
Yeah.
right? And when we were talking about this, it was kind of like, oh, we talked about the Stern thing, but that happened later.
That was
we
early
figured
2000s.
Yeah, we figured that out. Deregulation, just by its very nature, like when it happened to the airline industry, it had the same. It didn't do what they thought it would do. Like, and
Or
this
at least maybe it did do what they thought it would do, but the way they sold it was just like, oh yeah, this is great competition.
It's on paper, it's one thing, and then what actually is going to happen is another.
Yeah, which, again, if any of you think that politicians on either side of the fucking aisle give a fuck about you, they don't.
No.
Just follow the money. That's all you got to do. Follow the money. And I guarantee, Clinton and Gore made a shitload of money from the telecom companies after they merged 1 billion times and fucking donated to all of their foundations.
96
and
was
bullshit.
an election year.
It was.
And that's when I met Bill Clinton. I met Bill Clinton in '96.
Nice.
He landed in Philly for, actually I met him twice in '96. He landed in Philly, and so I think did I tell the story on the podcast?
You did.
Yeah, where I had to stand there and be the fucking marker for where they parked Air Force One, and then he came down and shook my hand, and there's a picture of me and Bill Clinton somewhere in the ether that I don't have, but yeah, he was what you would think it would be like. I was firm presidential handshake, taller than I expected him to be. I expected to see some fat guy, because the jokes at the time for Bill Clinton was always the
McDonald's,
the McDonald's,
right?
Big Mac, fucking. I expected a greasy tie and everything else, and he wasn't. He was a fucking well-mannered, real affable dude. He he had the entire fucking the press aircraft, like they were off to the side, like the crew. And he got them in a group photo, and he was kind of working over hey, come on over here, come on over. Like he was working all them over.
Yeah.
It was an election year, and he was working them over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was then, and then at the second time it was a night, and when he landed, I actually worked the stair truck, and when he landed, he because it was raining, he came down. He actually still took pictures with people even in the rain.
Nice.
And then he kind of get out. Clinton, he was Slick Willie, man. He
Yeah.
he knew what he was doing, man.
He had that swagger.
Bill Clinton could have fucked anything, man. He probably, if I give him a longer, he probably could have gone inside me. I'm not. He was a guy, dude.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so that Telecommunications Act, it affected the way that we consume music after that, at least partially. I know you said you're a Sirius XM guy, but when one company controls all the fucking radio stations, they basically dictate who the new artists are
Right.
that they give exposure to. And, it's so limited. And Kristen all the time will be like, how is it that when you listen to fucking a classic rock station, you hear the same fucking song every single day when there's a library of thousands out there? I'm like, because it's all owned by one fucking small company, and they recycled the same shit. So it's just, it really kind of fucked things like the radio stations. And again, we could literally spend a whole episode on that act and all the fucking ways it kind of fucked us as consumers. There were some good benefits that came out of it, but not nearly as much as what, the bad shit that came out of it.
The bill of goods we were sold that was going to be, that it was going to be it's like anything else. I mean, there's give and there's take. And I'm not look, I have Sirius XM mainly because I have commercials, because even when I was a Preston and Steve guy, right? Listening to WMR, these morning show guys, and they're fucking really funny. But for the period of time when I was commuting into work, it was almost all commercials.
Yeah.
It was this long ass commercial block, because in that 6 a.m. hour to fucking 7 a.m., they knew they weren't getting most of their traffic. So they were if you were listening from 8 to 9, there was less commercials.
Yeah.
Because they knew there were a bigger audience grab there. And I'd spend most of the time fucking in commercial. I'm like, I like these guys. I don't like them that much.
All right.
And, unfortunately, they did release all their stuff on a podcast, which is great if you want to, pick up parts of the show. But it's like with any other podcast, there's other podcasts that I'd rather listen to if I have the time to do it, like the Sidebar Cantina. So yeah, I listen to Sirius XM because there's no fucking commercials. And some of the stations I listen to, there's still even a fucking DJ.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't think that they're not spinning fucking records or anything, but sometimes it's just nice to a voice to break up the monotony. And then if I really want, there's a station that I can fucking go to that's just nonstop fucking stream music, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes where I just want the randomness of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because, every once in a while you'll get exposed to something new. Be like, oh, I've never heard this before. That's catchy. I like that. I'll add it to my fucking Apple library.
Right.
So, and again, that's some of the stuff you lose with this whole consolidation. But anyway, real quick, I want to talk about some holdovers from 95 because we didn't talk about those.
Yeah, you jumped past that.
I know. The biggest one being Alanis and Jagged Little Pill. In fact, Jagged Little Pill came out in summer of 95, and it was pretty big. 95. And it was already pretty big right out the gate. Fucking You Ought to Know, just fucking, you had angry women all over the country just being like, fuck yeah.
Right.
And dudes scared shitless, but also being like, yeah, this is actually good music too. So, and she rode fucking Jagged Little Pill all the way through 96. It was the highest selling album of 96, despite having been released, half a year before that.
Right.
And still selling very well in 95. So that just shows you how big this fucking album was at the time. So yeah, Alanis Morissette, fucking Queen of the Universe in 95 and 96. And the woman succeeding her crown as queen, Mariah Carey, was still actually writing the album Daydream in 96 that released in 95, which the song that you will probably, and everybody else that was alive at that time will remember from that album that was big in 96 was One Sweet Day, Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men, and their ballad about people that they had lost in their lives that got played over and over and over again. I enjoyed the song the first 100 times I listened to it, but the next 500 times it's just like, okay, I get it. And that was really like the last big Mariah Carey song that I was like actually into. And my love for her tapered off after that. So, really quick, before we move into our top 5 list, I just want to run down some of the top songs of the year, some of the top singles. We already talked about the Macarena, top selling
Macarena
by Los Del Rios. Now, there was there was another Macarena song recorded by some other group, whatever, but the Los Del Rio version was the one that was the big one that sold the most. We already talked about One Sweet Day. Celine Dion's Because You Loved Me, that was like her big album song off of that album Falling Into You that was big in 96. That was actually from the soundtrack to a movie also with Michelle Pfeiffer and some old guy and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Just going down the list here. Anything? Oh my God. Was this the year of? Hold on. I gotta look something up. We're doing this live.
Yeah, do it live. Do it live. Fuck it.
Okay. What year did this come out? Was it 96? Sorry. This is very important. Okay. Yes, it did come out in 96. Toni Braxton, Unbreak My Heart. Unbreak my heart.
Oh God.
So
talk about shit that you just fucking got tired of hearing.
Yes. So I have this great story with Kristen. When I first met her, she worked at Six Flags Great Adventure,
right
here in New Jersey. For anybody who frequented Six Flags parks in the late 80s, early 90s, you know that they all had like a music stand where you could go in and you can go into a recording booth and you could record you singing a song.
Yes, I've done this.
Yeah. Do you still have these?
That recording exists. I don't know. I'm pretty sure my friend Jeff has it. It's
we've got to make this happen.
Look, I think I talked about it on this. I might have talked about it during the Beach Boys episode.
I think we did actually.
Yeah,
that does sound
Kokomo.
familiar.
It was in that. In that recording studio.
Nice.
In Six Flags at the one in New Jersey.
Right.
On it during spring break in like 1992 or 3.
All right, we're gonna put a pin in that. And
right.
We're gonna revisit that. But so Kristen worked with this gal at Six Flags who one day, just as kind of a joke, went in and recorded a version of Unbreak My Heart.
Oh God.
It was so crazy that Kristen bought the fucking cassette tape. And after Kristen and I started dating, she's like, you got to listen to this. This is my friend doing Unbreak My Heart. And she's like belting this out. She's like terrible singer. And she's like, don't leave me out in the rain. Don't leave me in all this pain.
Oh my
and it
God.
was the funniest fucking thing you've ever heard in your life. It was hilarious. And I don't know what happened to that fucking tape. I think it's been lost in our many moves. but oh my God, it was the funniest fucking thing.
You would laugh pretty hard at this Kokomo remix that we fucking had.
Yeah. But I just had to bring that up because that was a big song in 96. Tony Braxton's Unbreak My Heart.
Oh my God.
Honestly, though, like I'm looking through the list of singles and so many of these songs, I'm just like, they did absolutely nothing for me. You know what I did like, though, was that dance group that came out, the La Bouche, and they did two kind of dance songs that were pretty big at the time. One was Sweet Dreams Are Made of Dancing, Sweet Dreams through the night. And then it's like got a dance beat. And then their other song was fucking, God damn it. What was the name of the other song? Oh, Be My Lover, Wanna Be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wanna be my lover.
Yeah.
I actually liked that kind of like techno dancey trend that was going on at the time.
No, I was into it too.
Yeah. So
I think we talked about with some of the older stuff. It was, okay. Sorry.
What?
No, Sad Monkey put a restaurant commercial with a fake Bill Clinton in Discord. I was wondering, some Discord thing popped up in the in-show chat, and I'm like, what is that? I'm trying to, I can't play it right now because I won't be able to hear it. So, we'll look at that later.
Yep.
For those of you who are on our Discord server, you will be able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Apparently, sidebar, Discord is changing. You know, how Discord, like you have your username and there's like a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
Apparently they're getting rid of the numbers.
Oh, you mean they're going to a normal username system?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're finally they're adapting.
Yeah. Welcome to 2005.
Yeah. I'm sure they had a reason for doing that. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think Discord is one of the last bastions of fucking actual like freedom of movement within you know, certain airspaces. So, you know, some adapting I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Venga Bus.
The Venga Boys.
The Venga Bus.
Anyway, looking at some of the albums of the year real quick. Oh, God. Waiting to Exhale. The fucking soundtrack. You remember that movie? Whitney Houston.
Yes.
My girlfriend at the time made me go see that with her. And it was just like the biggest, just like fucking man-hating movie like you've ever seen.
Jesus.
And it's, oh, God.
Why would you take a dude to that movie?
Yeah.
Like, did she not know what it was going to be about?
Well, I mean, you could just tell from like the commercials and the trailers, it was going to be a very, you know, female empowering type of movie. But God damn, it was like, I felt uncomfortable watching that fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I ended up just like hating it. And then the fucking soundtrack came out with all these Whitney Houston songs. And that was fucking big. And that was like the #1 album for, all of January and February.
Oh, Whitney! Almost everything Whitney did was big.
Oh yeah, well, I mean she was
shit.
like incredibly talented and, you know, decent actress too. But still, like I had that bad taste in my mouth from.
I liked The Bodyguard.
Bodyguard was fine. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Again, the song got old. Fucking really. We had Tupac's album "All Eyes on Me" come out this year that we talked about. The Beatles released their next 2 anthologies.
We'll always love you.
Rage and the Machine came out with their Evil Empire album this year, which was pretty big amongst Rage fans. Hootie and the Blowfish tried to have another album. The Fairweather Johnson, I don't think it did that well, but it was #1 for a week. The Fugees came out. Metallica Load came out. Where's the other one? Pearl Jam came out with their No Code album. I was done with Pearl Jam at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've listened to a new Pearl Jam song since. Celine Dion's Falling Into You really kind of closed out the year as one of the higher selling albums. The Van Halen Best of Volume 1 with the 2 new David Lee Roth albums came out.
It was a great purchase. Actually,
I still have mine too.
That was not a purchase. That was definitely 100% at Columbia House.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Purchase.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't talked about No Doubt yet. But 96 was the year of fucking No Doubt. Even though Tragic Kingdom got released in 95, and I think we talked about this when we talked about the music in 95.
Yes.
Like 96 is when they fucking broke out and were huge. Like when like fucking Just a Girl, Don't Speak and all that came out as singles. Yeah, fucking shot them to popularity, and they kind of closed out the year as one of the top selling albums of '96. So. Yeah, that's kind of the year in a nutshell. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about before we get into our lists?
I think the things I'm going to talk about will probably come out in my top 5.
Okay.
So we'll hit those up when we get to my top 5.
And I know we kind of blasted through that really quick, but we had a lot of fucking sidebarring going on. And you know what it is? It's because this is the first time in a month that it's just been you and me sitting here on a Monday night.
And
so
sitting here bullshitting.
Yeah, so we had to we had to
Facts, G-Force.
get caught up.
Facts. Absolute facts.
What do you say?
Pantera Great Southern was a decline album,
Oh, yeah.
sadly.
So, all right, we've got our top 5 lists, and I've got a shitload of honorable mentions.
Oh God,
so-
dude! I showed you the fucking list
Yeah.
that I had to.
I was trying
parse
not to
through.
actually read any specific ones.
Yeah,
but,
well, my top 5, I didn't have the numbering in any of those.
Yep.
So
And we're going to just do our top 5s, and then I will do the sidebars top 5 after we're all done.
okay, sounds good.
So, do you want to start or do you want me to?
I'll start.
Okay. What do you got?
Is that how we usually do it?
I don't know.
I'll start.
Okay.
So my number 5,
Uh-huh.
you kind of, I think you mentioned it briefly, is "Breathe" by The Prodigy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You're talking about the techno, dun, 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 dun. Like it was. I had this album, probably another Columbia House purchase.
Of course.
It had the crab on the front, like it's kind of a very distinctive cover. But there was a lot of songs on there, like between "Breathe" and I'm not good with titles, but it was just a good workout, fucking driving, just good little techno beat song album, and I listened to it a lot. Like a lot of what my list is, there's some of like this is stuff that I listened to a lot in 1996, mixed with things that I like now.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
from
and I do the same.
1996.
Yeah.
Because it's really tough to parse out. Like, okay, what was my favorite thing in '96? Like, I don't fucking remember.
Oh, and I'll say like my number 1 song is a song that I didn't hear for the first time until like 3 or 4 years ago. So,
yeah, my number 1 is definitely something that is more number 1 recent than
Yeah.
before, but that would be giving it away.
Yeah, but mine is it's a combination of the songs that I liked then that still stick with me now. And you'll see.
Yes. So that was my number 5, "Breathe"
right.
by Prodigy.
My number 5, you got to remember in '96 I was still a very immature 19-year-old kid, so I liked some of the more well, I'll just say it. Genuine's Pony. Jump on it. Let's do it. Ride it. My pony. Yeah. It's literally a song about someone bouncing on his dick.
Right.
Yeah, like a horse.
So you wanted to listen about sex
Yeah.
as opposed to actually having sex.
Yeah. Yeah, few opportunities in '96, but just do the military stuff and all that. But yeah, no, Genuine's Pony. I fucking love that song. Whenever it comes on now, I'm like, yeah.
I know exactly. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, okay, I know that song.
Yep. So yeah, and
That was
I
your
don't,
number 5 in 1996.
Hell
Was that
yeah.
song? All right,
honestly, I don't think Genuine's done anything since then. I don't even know if he's still alive.
dude, I didn't even know that was the name of the fucking group.
Yeah, well, it's a guy. I think it's Genuine.
The name of the guy.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, my number 4, you'll definitely recognize the band. And I don't know if you remember in '96, a lot of movies came out that year.
Yeah.
One of them was a sequel to The Crow,
Yes.
The Crow 2 City of Angels, which I never saw, but I bought the soundtrack because I absolutely love this song, Hole's rendition of Gold Dust Woman.
Okay. That I do. I'm familiar.
Yeah, the old Fleetwood Mac song that vocalized by Stevie Nicks. Hole, Courtney Love, did a very, very good rendition, a more rock rendition of this song, and yeah, I loved it. I bought the soundtrack after I'd heard the song. Never even cared about the movie because Brandon Lee was dead and blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about them recasting it, so I'm just like, I'll just get the soundtrack and listen to it. And I loved it. I love that song. It was
Yeah, Hole's interesting, right? Courtney Love, she I feel like there's a lot of talent buried in a very
she was pretty
troubled
Yes.
fucking individual.
Yeah, drugs and being married to Kurt Cobain and
Right.
going through all that, and yeah,
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, but
Right.
it's like there's flashes of fucking genius, I think, with some of the music.
Well, yeah, and there was a period in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, where Courtney Love was actually, very talented, doing a lot of successful things, actually quite bonable. Most of the time, she just looks like a trashy whore that's like laying on the sidewalk on the side of the street.
I don't remember any bonable.
Watch the music video for Gold Dust Woman. She actually looks pretty damn good in that video.
Okay.
And then she was also in Man on the Moon a couple years later with Jim Carrey about the Andy Kaufman story.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so she was like kind of legit for a few years, and then she turned into a fucking skank again.
Like you do.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my number 4, Gold Dust Woman by Hole from the Crow 2 soundtrack.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that moves us right to your number 4.
That it does. My number 4, we actually mentioned again earlier. It was in the This or That, as a matter of fact, and I did my best to play it off. It was the song One Headlight.
The Wallflowers.
So Wallflowers. So here's the reason. It's this song in particular, because so the song is from this year, right?
Yes.
But in 97, when I was in Keesler, right, I had the CD when I went down there.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd listened to the song because it was new. And I had the CD from, again, from the collection. And, the song was played a lot. And I just kind of like, I liked it. And then when we got to, finally out of basic and we're in the dorms in fucking Keesler and getting settled, the first thing I bought when I got there was a 3-disc changer fucking CD player.
Yeah.
And the discs I had, was 3 or 5? I don't remember. But I put Green Day's Dookie in there, and I put Wallflowers Wallflowers CD in there, and Marilyn Manson in there.
Oh, that's right. We didn't mention that this was the year of Marilyn Manson's debut, too.
Yeah. So I had those 3 albums in there, and the Wallflowers one would pop on there often enough that we would, like, all of us in the fucking hallway would be singing it. And it just, when it comes on, I know all the words, I'll sing it out loud. Like, it's just one of those songs when it comes on. It's on my mandatory sing out loud list. Another song, as a slight sidebar, is Elderly Woman by Pearl Jam.
Was that from that album that came out this year?
I don't think it was this year, because if it was, I would. Was it?
Yeah, from the No Code is the one that was released in 96.
No, it was a previous one.
Yeah, it did not have a song called that.
Elderly Woman at a counter, fucking whatever. But anyway, that song came on, and Kathy was talking to me, and it came on. And I have to sing it when it comes on. It's kind of like Cartman would Sail Away. And I turned it up, and I was just kind of singing it just a little bit like this until she was like, while she was talking. And then she stopped talking, and I kept singing it. And this song is the same way. When I hear it, I have to sing it. So, yep, that was it. One Headlight.
Yeah, and
I could still hear it reverberating through the hallways in fucking the Triangle, like in the hallway, after a fresh buffing of the fucking floor, just the sound of the 3-disc changer fucking.
And that's the thing, man. It's like those kinds of memories really make it,
Yeah. Otherwise, that song would probably wouldn't be anywhere near here.
Yep. And that was my number 4. All right. What's your number 3?
So my number 3 is a song called "Change the World" by Eric Clapton.
Okay, yeah, from
Came out this year.
That was the soundtrack to the movie that John Travolta was in, where he had like magic powers.
Yeah, it was like he was an angel or something, right? Or what was that?
No, he like had a fucking brain tumor, and it like gave him telekinetic powers.
Yeah, whatever that movie was. I did see the movie. I really like the song. And we had Clapton Unplugged, with this. It kind of, for me, was my introduction to Eric Clapton. Clapton obviously was
a lot of people of our generation. That was
our parents' generation, that they knew Eric Clapton as a very successful artist. And then he had this resurgence after Unplugged, And then this song, I really took to it, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. So yeah, this is Change the World was made the list.
Real quick before we continue, I was reminded I need
Very good.
I need to take my pill.
Very good.
Yes.
So
Somebody's keeping me honest.
yes, that's what that is good for. Something while you're doing that, another movie that came out that it didn't make the list for songs, but the movie That Thing You Do came out.
Oh yeah, and we've
I
talked
love
about
I
your
love
love
that movie.
your
I
love of
love that
movie.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
I just and my fucking father-in-law was watching it the other day.
Oh yeah?
And I could hear parts of it going on. You know when you hear something in the other room and you're like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And I'll do this all the time. I'll hear something and I'll say, "Is that this?" And my father-in-law will be like, "Yeah." Like, how did you know? I'm like, "Oh no, it's like I heard this part of it." So yeah, it's a little That Thing You Do. There's no individual song off of there, but it came out this year. And what made me think about it was we were talking about Independence Day earlier.
Yeah, because that
came out in
huge
'96.
fucking
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
in '96.
I saw them at the same time.
Yeah.
it was a double feature.
But
That Thing You Do. Then I saw Independence Day. Of course, those two things go together.
But no song tied to Independence Day. No soundtrack outside of the score. So
No. So
nothing
can't make the
musical.
list.
Yep. So all right. So that was your 4 and 3.
Yep.
All right. My number 3. Bone Thugs and Harmony's The Crossroads. Now, some of you out there might be saying, "Wait a minute, Bone Thugs and Harmony released the album in 1995." They released the album in 95 with a version of the song called Crossroads on it, which is a very different version than the single that they released in 96. They re-released that album, by the way, the E 1999 Eternal. They re-released that album with the new version of the Crossroads in 96. I know because I have both versions, because I bought the first version when I liked the song First of the Month. It's the first of the month.
Which he says all the time. If you're listening to the show, you hear him. You'll hear him say that shit.
Oh yeah, we were telling the story not too long ago how you still remembered me singing that all the time back in the day, which is hilarious. But yeah, they redid the song The Crossroads after Eazy-E died and released it as a single in 96, which is different from the album version. Blah blah blah. I loved it. I sang it all the fucking time. This was when I was at Keesler. So this was like summer of 96. I was going everywhere. See you at the crossroads, crossroads, cross. And like me and one other guy that I was in class with really liked that song, and we just all day we'd sing it. See you at the crossroads. I don't know
When
what it
you
is.
were doing that, what was I doing? I was playing volleyball and softball and shit, playing golf.
Like Tom Cruise and
Yeah.
Top Gun
Yeah.
with other dudes in jorts. Just
Oh, you know.
loving life like two
No,
dudes.
because back in those days, our PT gear was those sweat shorts that we had. Remember
Oh,
those?
yeah.
We weren't sporting the fucking jorts yet. The
Hanging
fucking
with
Ranger
the
panties.
boys.
Yeah, have our dog tags on, fucking getting all sand on them and shit. Because we were cool.
Yep. So moving on to my number 2.
Yes.
Might get some heat for this one, but we talked about this when we did our Metallica episode. You know, one of my favorite songs, in fact, my favorite song of theirs is the symphonic version of Hero of the Day that came out on the S&M album. But the original version of the song, still one of my favorite songs. So Metallica's Hero of the Day from the Load album that a lot of people hated. I didn't care for some of the other singles that came from that. The what was the first single that came out from Load? It was God damn it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Like that one was just kind of meh for me, but it wasn't until Hero of the Day came out that I actually, started liking stuff from this
It's not
album.
on this link that I have.
Oh, well, that's fine. No worries. But yeah, Metallica's Hero of the Day is my number 2 song of the year.
Hero of the Day is one of on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because it's not the worst song to listen to. It just isn't. In my opinion.
Yeah.
In my humble, not so humble opinion.
And I like the tempo of the song too, because it starts off slow. It just starts off with a single guitar, just him singing, very soft drums. And it isn't until, that second time, can't you hear your babies cry? And then there's and then it starts fucking picking up. And I love that pacing of the song, how it starts off slow and then fucking accelerates.
What's funny, it's Until It Sleeps was the first single.
Until It Sleeps. Yeah, that song was just kind of...
It was okay.
It was okay.
And that's what's funny about the newer newest to newer to newest Metallica is like there's a couple in there that's like, oh yeah, okay, there's a hint of what was,
Yeah.
and then it goes away, for a bunch of songs. But yeah, I agree with you. Here of the Day was a great track.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2,
Yes.
we haven't mentioned it all yet. The album release in 1996 by Dave Matthews Band called Crash.
Oh, did that come out in 96?
That came out in 96.
Oh, fuck. I totally missed that.
Yeah. So you're not a Dave Matthews guy.
No, but Kristen
But
was.
Kristen is.
And I probably know this whole album without even thinking about it.
Right.
Because she played it a lot.
Yeah. So my number 2 is actually Two Step off of this album. Every one of these songs I know like really, really well. It's probably not of the Dave Matthews stuff. Like, look, we could talk Dave Matthews. Beginning at this point, going through for like probably the next 3 to 4 years, we were seeing Dave Matthews like twice a year.
Yeah.
Like, because he was coming through Philly twice a year. He would have a summer show, then we'd have a winter show. And we would, me, my friend Jeff, Sean, like the group of us, we would go and we'd go see Dave and we'd do the tailgating and everything else. So it was a thing.
Yeah.
And so we knew all the words to the song. It was part of just our experience at the time. And this could have, any one of those songs could very easily been my number 2 or my number 1. But because I can still listen to Dave Matthews now, especially to this or the Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds version that they did where it's just the two of them with on guitar. And it's just so much of those versions of these songs are so fucking good. But yeah, this album was huge for them. It brought Dave Matthews like, Under a Table of Dreaming was one thing, but then this album just boom, it just made him fucking huge.
Yeah, and they came out with several releases throughout the late 90s, right? Like kind of back to back to back. And I think even Dave Matthews as a solo artist released an album at some point in there as well, right?
Yeah. Well, and then it had so it's funny too, because I have like this I actually have a recorded copy of the Lily White sessions, like the original Lily White sessions. I think I talked about this before, because it was on Y100 at the time, and I like recorded it from the radio.
Oh, okay.
And it was like super, super limited release, and there's versions of the songs that are on there that they never did.
Oh, wow.
And it's some of them are fucking great, and I wish they had done them. And then the album they ended up releasing was so much more commercialized than this like super depressing fucking versions that they that they wrote for the Lily White session. So I can't speak to any Dave Matthews stuff probably past 99, 2000. I couldn't.
I can't speak to most popular music after 99, 2000, to be honest.
That's facts. Yeah, that's facts. We're too fucking busy raising families and shit to be super into music like that and going to concerts and shit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Dave Matthews could have very easily been on my number 1, which I'm hinting at the fact that it wasn't by saying that.
Well, I mean, that was your number 2, so let's hear your number 1 then.
My number 1 is my current number 1 from albums that were released to like in 1996, and Tool released their album Enema.
That's right.
In 1996, and the song 46 and 2 is on that album.
Yeah, which we talked about when we talked about the Tool episode.
And dude, there's, without beating it to death, because I think I did in that other episode, like it's one of those songs when you're listening to it, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And that sound in that song, that when you have just a good set of headphones on and you're listening to it and you're just getting all of that music and hearing all the differences, and just it's a sound experience that you're getting that I can appreciate now as an old man.
Yeah.
That back in those days I could not have. Why did I like Dave Matthews in 1996? Well, it's because I was, we were drinking and tailgating and fucking going into concerts and having the concert experience, right? This is why I like Jimmy Buffett. The music is fine, but the experience is the thing. With Tool, I can put on a set of headphones and I'm listening and experiencing the music.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those ones where you can really just kind of like analyze it in your mind as you're listening, hearing everything that's going on.
And 46 and 2 is one of them. And there's a few like this. I think if you talk to Tool fans, this is not like their most popular album. That they think, like lyrically, I think there's too much pop stuff on here. But there's some real bangers on this fucking album. I mean, there's H is a super popular one that's on this album. Fucking Eulogy is on this album, which is great because it starts with the fucking ting, 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 ting. It starts with the fucking the cutting of the gravestone.
Yep.
And it's just these subtleties of that. And then fucking Hooker with a Penis is on this on this album as well. Which when you listen to the lyrics, you're just like, until I actually listened to the fucking looked at the lyrics to see what the fucking was and actually listened to it and just like, and then find out it's about a fucking this fan that's calling him out. Like, that's not what I thought it was at all. When I listened to the song, I'm like, yeah, rock, and then I'm like, no, what? Holy shit! So anyway, 46 and 2 came out this year. I wish in '96 I had appreciated it then, but it never would have got like. I can listen to Luna Girl. I brought it up earlier. We listened to Octane on Sirius XM. They play a ton of Tool. And
I believe it.
Every single day, like if you're listening to Octane, you're going to hear 46 and 2 at least once, because it's fucking it's one of the more perfect songs to listen to. So that is my number one.
Nice. Well, for me, I've mentioned on the show quite a bit over the last couple of years my newly found love for the UK indie rock band Lush.
Yes.
And in '96, they released their final album because after they released their album and they went on a tour with the Gin Blossoms, their drummer killed himself. And they decided to break up after that because, they weren't like hitting the level of success that they had hoped. A lot of in-band fighting. After this guy killed himself, they're just like, okay, we're done. But this last album they released called Love Life had the song called Last Night on it. And that is by far my favorite song of theirs. And, again, this is one of those ones that I discovered years later, again, just a few years ago, but absolutely love this song. Listen to it all the fucking time. It's on like 3 of my different playlists in my car. But yeah, Lush, Last Night. If you're, give it a listen. It's got a lot of different shit going on. It's, again, an indie rock, but they've got all kinds of different instrumentation and different things going on. And the guitarist, she's fucking awesome. Her solo in this is like one of the best guitar solos I've ever heard. And I tried in vain to play it once myself, and I'm like, nah, I can't. So yeah, it's good song, Lush, Last Night. And that's it for our list. So yeah,
what's the listeners got?
All right,
for us?
so yeah, our Cantina Families top 5. So number 5, Bulls on Paradise by Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
We mentioned that they released that album this year. No Diggity by Blackstreet. I never liked this song. No Diggity. Now they have California Love on here by Tupac, which the only reason why I didn't put this in my list because I think I put it into my 95 list when we did the music in 95. But it was one of those ones that was released like in December of 95 and like spilled into 96, so that's the only reason why I didn't put it on my list. But yeah, I fucking love California Love by Tupac and Dre. California Love. Do, 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 do. Number 2, One Headlight by the Wallflowers. And then number 1, the entire Enema album by Tool.
Yeah, I mean, I
think there might be some bias in that number 1.
Perhaps, but there's bangers on there, man.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yep, and our 90.
Oh fucking yeah, Enema. The song itself, Enema, is great. Again, listen to the fucking lyrics.
Yep.
The earth cleansing itself of California.
And Luna Girl mentioned that she did the mixtape again, the Sidebar Cantina mixtape on Spotify. Contains 563 songs, 38 hours, and 2 minutes of 1996 glory.
That's awesome.
probably some 95 in there too, but whatever. And apparently that's going to get released to the public mañana.
Yes, I believe she said that our list that were revealed tonight are going to be added to that.
Okay, well, hopefully some of these honorable mentions can get in too, because really quick, I want to go through my honorable mentions.
Yeah, do it.
Ruby Soho by Rancid. I actually liked that Rancid album that was released that year, and Ruby Soho was the title track. It was fun little song.
Yeah, that was on Guitar Hero.
I believe it.
I think it was.
Here's one that I know for sure was on Rock Band. This is by Weezer. They released a new album in '96, and the track that I'm referring to is El Scorcho. It's a fun little song about basically a guy who's like pining over a girl who's probably never going to give him the time of day.
And she has the clap,
Right.
hence the scorching.
Yes. This was almost my number 5 song. This almost beat out Pony. I was going back and forth for the longest time, but it was Pepper by the Butthole Surfers. For anybody who remembers that one. I don't mind the sun sometimes. Images it shows.
That is a great song.
Yeah, I fucking love that song.
Give you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Cinnamon and sugary and yeah, this. I can't look at Cinnamon Toast Crunch and not think of that. Like it pops into my head, literally.
That's funny.
When did Beavis and Butthead movie come out? Was that this year?
No, it was 97, I think. Pretty sure it was 97.
Does Butthole Surfers have a song in that?
Yeah.
Also,
They also had a song on the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack, but I digress. Where Do You Go by No Mercy. Where do you go? My lovely. That's more that like techno dance type of stuff that was big at the time.
Where did you go?
Yeah, I love that song. Speaking of which, I don't know if you remember the Gina G song. Ooh, just a little bit. Ooh, little bit more. More of that stuff.
You know that I'm looking for.
And then the last one I have on honorable mentions is a weird one because '96 was the year that the Broadway musical Rent started.
Oh God.
And
everyone has AIDS. AIDS.
And again, this was something that was not on my radar, but Kristen has always been a big like Broadway fan, and she had like soundtracks to all the Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff. And she eventually, it wasn't in '96, but it was later. We listened to the soundtrack, and I love the song "Light My Candle."
Okay.
So
AIDS.
So yeah, Light My Candle from the Rent soundtrack. So that's my honorable mentions. Hopefully those all make it into the playlist as well.
So I have a couple, and I'm just going to go through them real quick.
Okay.
I already mentioned Dave Matthews Band, the Crash album. All of it could probably go on there. Mm-hmm. Every Day is a Winding Road by Sheryl Crow.
Oh yeah,
that came out in '96. And honestly, that's like it's one of those songs that.
Wait, was that from her new album that came out in '96? Because she released a new album in '96. That's the one that
I
had.
don't know. I just know that this song did.
Oh, or maybe that was the last single from Tuesday Night Music Club.
I don't know.
Maybe. Either way.
Every day is a
you mentioned the Gin Blossoms earlier when we were talking about Lush, and Follow You Down was one of mine.
Yep, very popular.
Let's see. All Mixed Up. Don't know what to do. Sing it, turn around, and 100% is you. By 311.
Yep.
That was super popular.
I like their song Down.
It seemed like every song was about the same.
Yeah.
And if you ever saw a cover band in the late 90s, they were playing 311 shit.
Yeah. Well, and
they just were 311 and Offspring. They were playing it.
Yeah, and 311 really seemed kind of like the precursor to what we would get with like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that. So
yeah, just milder.
Yeah.
Like if Limp Bizkit is like, hot sauce, then 311's like mild.
Yeah.
What else I got? Let Me Clear My Throat by DJ Cool.
Which one was
Dun, it's like a live version of Let Me Clear My Throat.
Oh, okay.
Have mercy, babe.
Yeah,
I hope you don't die. Let me clear my throat.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
So it was actually taped in Philly.
Oh yeah,
right at a club in Philly.
Uh-huh.
And there, it's funny is at the time, I may or may not have been able to get into some clubs like where things like this would have been happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just you would know the song if you heard it.
Oh, you know, I recognize the song, but I don't remember it being big in '96.
That's when it came out. It was in '96. Santeria, you mentioned by Sublime.
Yep.
The Spin Spin Sugar by the Sneaker Pimps. Sugar Daddy, set them free.
Oh.
Dun 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 dun.
Hey, I got nothing.
Sugar Daddy, oh, Sugar Daddy, oh, Sugar Daddy, oh, Sugar Daddy, oh. It was boots and pants music.
I guess so.
I'm telling you. Yeah, Spin Spin Sugar, and No Woman Don't Cry, No Woman No Cry rather.
Yeah.
And Tom Petty had a song that was out. I don't think that's the whole title. I just put Walls by Tom Petty.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had a release that year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that was yeah, it was
good.
tough, dude. I had a lot on there. I had a lot on my shit that I was trying to spin out. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, other people know.
Okay.
Spin
I'll take it over. Maybe it's just something I must have missed. Or maybe I'll recognize it if I hear the actual song.
Yeah,
But
play it after the.
yeah, 96 was strange year for music, and it only gets stranger as we get through the rest of the 90s because
God, yeah.
97 through 99. Oh my God. Ugh. We'll talk about it when that episode comes, but
Right.
I think we have some business to attend to. We're already way over time, so
way over time.
we gotta clear the air. And that being said, Miss Lopez, hey, there she is. Long time no see.
Hi.
Hey, what's wrong with your face?
I'm pissed.
Oh, okay, that's your angry face.
Yeah, this is my angry face.
Gotcha.
I think.
I like your necklace.
Thanks.
So I mean, God, a lot's happened since we saw you last.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of shit being talked.
I mean, I'm just gonna give you the floor because
Yeah,
I'm
so-
sure you've got a lot of things to say.
So I'm gonna do the read that our wonderful social media director Luna Girl has
Okay,
prepared.
so we're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna
We're gonna do that first.
clear the air. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Well, I think that's part of it.
okay.
So okay. I'm gonna turn the screen so I can see it.
Yes,
Thank you.
as you should.
I love the shirt, Vader. by
Oh
the way.
yeah. So what do you think of Kristen bought that onesie for
Yes.
Mini Vader? And,
Yes.
and
Look
now
at that.
This is going to be a new mainstay
You
of
can
the studio.
you too can buy that with my lovely face on it. See?
And you can still see over in the back corner, we still have Michigan Vader here as well, but now we have J-Lo Vader.
Yes. J-Lo Vader. Oh, I like that.
Anyway, carry on.
I have you now.
Ooh, that was good. Good
Yeah,
impression.
thanks.
You can really make your voice very
I
deep
know.
for a lady.
Yeah. Some would say it's unnatural.
Oh, this whole thing is unnatural.
As you know, an update on Hennifer escape pod controversy. That's I'm doing the read.
Yes, this is part of the reads.
It's been a minute since I talked, so I'm a little off.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
As you know, Brady, Don, and DB have been continuing to spread fake news about Hennifer, knowing full well she was on a 2-week vacation and not able to defend herself. They are trying to insinuate that Hennifer and LG are time-traveling, interdimensional war criminals, and that Hennifer is some kind of mind-controlling parasite attached to Dave. Ludegirl has discovered that they have been doing their research, air quote, in various tabloid archives from which they use to develop outlandish accusations. See me looking? They also use something referred to as charm, air quote, to turn our followers against us. Scott from Used and Abused, Keith from Layman's Terms. I remember you. I remember your names. Cam Ray, Semi Productions, and even our very own patron Steve from Rebel Rock Radio have succumbed to this charm. Shanty from Pop My Cherry. That's not what that's. That says Pop My Cherry. That's a Pop My Culture. literally says "Pop My Cherry." That's what it says. Shanty for Pop My Cherry and Backyard TARDIS have been speaking out against the escape pod's awful allegations and are now targets. Even Brady, did you get it?
I don't think so.
Even Brady, it's distracting. You know, I'm looking right at you.
Sorry.
Even Brady's own father told LG that he will have a talk with his son. See? Crosses generational lines.
Mm-hmm.
You must not allow yourself to be charmed. They will even try to bribe you with coffee-flavored whiskey. You must not allow yourself to be charmed. Oh, I read that already. These guys pretend to care about Dave, but it's all a facade. Use the hashtag #JusticeForHennifer whenever you see one of their posts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. So, let us speak for a moment about propaganda. Are you familiar with this term, Jason?
Oh, quite familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was this thing that you went through, right, with basic training?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
through survival school, right?
That's right.
Yeah, then they used propaganda.
Yep.
And what did they do?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Like, well, shit. Are we supposed to talk about this stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so I can remember one example where they told somebody to like stomp on the ground. Like they're like, you're gonna do this. You're gonna stomp on the ground, and then we'll give you like a piece of food or something. So the guy like stomps on the ground. What they didn't tell him that they were gonna do is they then superimposed the American flag underneath on the ground. So and then they replayed the video, and they're like, look. We're showing a picture of you stomping on the American flag, and we're now going to send that back to your country. And,
Yes.
yeah. So stuff like that.
So they do that to train you so that when you don't do those things, so that you're not used for propaganda, right?
Correct.
So the nature of what we're doing here on the YouTubes means that sometimes we're lending ourselves to this propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
So like a screenshot that can be used inappropriately, like on an image from like some evil person in World War II.
Yep.
Not going to name names.
Yeah. We're not going to get our stream.
No,
canceled.
we're not. So it's stuff like that. We were specifically trained to avoid doing stuff like that. So your use of propaganda and those images, we will do our best to not continue to facilitate your ruse, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
So your whole do your research thing. Yeah, go ahead, do your research. Go ahead, and yeah, chicken or beef, Jason?
Chicken always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you sign for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got me.
Make sure we don't hold. Yeah, we gotta help be careful when we hold up our peace signs too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they could turn out against us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all of you that are being controlled by that propaganda, be careful. You too can get snowed by those ATSW guys. Just saying.
Fuck.
Anyway, what?
No, I just realized there's been this Black Series figure on clearance at GameStop for like months, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that one already. I don't have that one.
Didn't Kristen already tell you that?
I don't know, man.
I feel like she told you that last week.
Probably. Whatever.
I'm going to lose my eye. Anyway, let's finish this.
Yes.
So we can talk about this awesome fucking onesie here. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can get that for your baby.
Look at this sexy. Oh, Vader. You're so sexy. I'll give you taco flavored kisses.
Oh God.
Red 5 happenings. Following our stream after the weekend goes live at 2100 if you're still listening. This week they're discussing, don't take it down. What are you doing?
I'm getting it closer to the camera so the people can see it.
No. No, Jason, why you do that?
See, I just want to
Oh,
show them.
no, you're fucking it up.
No, see, I'm just showing them.
God.
Mini Vader has the.
Oh,
Are you okay?
Oh.
I'm gonna put it back.
No, you're ruining it. No.
I just wanted to get it closer to the camera. Calm the fuck down.
Who are you yelling at?
You.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Do that some more. Let's see whose airspace is about to get violated.
It's so mean.
This This week they're discussing deleted scenes from Return of the Jedi with special guest Ro from the Scarif podcast and DJ from Rebel Rock Radio. I'm surprised Ro hasn't gotten a cease and desist for the whole Scarif thing.
You would think, but I mean, I don't know.
Pop in their live chat. I hope I didn't give him an idea.
Yeah.
Sorry. Pop in their live chat and tell the Sidebar Cantina sent you. The Red 5 Network has 29 active podcasts and 6 archive podcasts for a grand total of 35.
I'm 37?
Plus 2. Check out bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5. Cinco.
Oh, we just passed Cinco de Mayo too.
Cinco. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't give a shit.
I know.
Fucking amateur hour. Check out bio.link/red5. That's Red Cinco. To browse the lineup, there's something for everyone at Red 5 Network. Cantina Family Happenings! See, I'm speeding up. Then slowing down. On Tuesday, Use and Abuse will be celebrating their 200th episode. Holy shit. Oh, shit. I was supposed to say something to you about doing...
Me?
Yeah, Scott reached out to us, I think, on the Discord.
Oh, I haven't looked at Discord in a long time.
Shit. I think he said about potentially doing something for his show for the 200th.
When is it?
Tuesday, apparently.
So tomorrow.
Tomorrow. He may have said something like Friday, maybe. I forgot. I suck.
Yeah.
Dave sucks. Anyway, you don't have to miss it on Tuesday. They will be celebrating their 200th episode. Fucking sweet. Congratulations.
Can't believe they've been through that many already.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they just started. Like they just came from the Cantina family womb.
I was going to say, our babies are all growing up.
Yeah, it's fucking scary. Unlike the ATSW guys, maybe we dropped them too many times, huh?
Yeah, that's quite a possibility.
Well, catch Scott and Kim and Nicole tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the YouTubes for the 200th episode. Wednesday, ATSW Escape Pod, we're reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Check out Don, Brady, and Dragon Buddy on their fake news. and it's right there. On Wednesday on YouTube at 19:05, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, let's see what they come up with now. Let's see how they counter the propaganda. I really wish I had time to use some of their shit against them.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I've got things to do.
Yeah, we all do.
I've got Hennifer things to do.
Well, apparently they don't have anything to do. Apparently they've got all the free fucking time in the world.
I think they have an army. They have an army of people because it seems like there's a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, apparently they all have no lives.
Well, I mean, they listen to us.
Oh, that is true.
So that says something.
Yes.
But listen to them. Do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on Wednesday, 19:05, 7:05 p.m. Eastern.
I have you now.
Layman's Terms did not release anything on YouTube, but he's been shit-talking an awful lot. Oh, no, sorry. That was an outburst. But he has a couple of videos on Sidebar Cantina Facebook group. Go see his filth for yourself by going to bio.link/ the Sidebar Cantina and click on our Facebook group link. And please give him a sub on YouTube for your primary source of ignorance and drunken banter. Blah, 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 blah. That's what it sounds like when I said it to myself. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
And the headphones are like blah, 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 blah.
Are you okay?
The Orange and Fed Show released episode 76, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Ha-ha! Speaking of hand puppets.
Oh God, when he did Attack of the Clones, when he went to the Attack of the Clones premiere, that was the best fucking TV.
For you to poop on.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Nothing to say about that hand puppet, do you there, Escape Pod guys? Escape Pod, no. Orange Fed Show released episode 76, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Slow down. This past Friday, find their podcast on Spotify, and you will do it. Yeah. You can find us at bio.link/ the Sidebar Cantina, where where you can find our links to Patreon, YouTube, our audio podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and blah, 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 blah.
Is your jaw okay? You're like, it's like your mouth is like open very wide as you're.
The animatronics are broken right now.
Yeah.
Our audio podcast on Apple, Audible, Spotify, and all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok. You can also find all of our Spotify music mixtape playlists, including the one we talked about today. Probably tomorrow. Perhaps. Also in our bio link is our T-Public merch shop. We have our F Cancer and Jason Rose designs. There he is, right back there. Look at that. Look at that guy.
Traumatized Bob Healy for life.
Yeah. He's waking up in a cold sweat right now. Like, oh, God, it's Jason. Oh, look at his face looking at me.
Yep.
All sexy. Jeff Jason Rose designs. Oh, super sexy Twi'lek, sidebar chick, and our beloved Hennifer design, which Brady Big Lovin' has been wearing lovingly for the past few weeks on his live streams.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. I won't say it. We can also find our classic Sidebar Cantina logo, our 2 throwback designs from a Dank's point of view. There are t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pens, wallets, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases. Who's buying laptop cases? Pillows! Just about anything you can imagine. Look at that pillow. Look at it. Look at it.
It's something.
I can't. It's a train wreck. I can't look away. I just have to look at oh, look at Vader. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Look at the fucking onesie. Oh, my God. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. See, it's an old school reference. Did you get it? Did you get it?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, let's see what I did there. Make sure you tag us on social with your sidebar merch. Did you do that, Vader? Did you do that? Did you tag the merch with the sidebar? Did you do that? I feel like I'm balding. I have hand pattern baldness.
Well, that does happen to women sometimes. So
Yeah. I have to talk to somebody about that.
yeah.
Reviews!
No new reviews.
Motherfuckers!
Apparently they don't like us. Apparently the people that we entertain week after week don't enjoy us enough to go onto Apple and leave a 5-star review.
Listen, you fuckers. The lack of 5-star reviews is displeasing. So look into my googly eyes. They're not googling so well.
Yeah. Are those your original eyes or?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, I think these are too.
Yeah, because you went with the smaller eyes.
Because my hand is
Recently.
numb. I think that's part of the problem.
Oh, could be.
I have this issue with my shoulder where it's like, yeah, it's not good. Anyway, write us a 5-star review, fuckers. Don't have an Apple Audible account or Facebook page that review feature too. Just screenshot your review before you hit done. And I'm going to just talk at the camera like this and DM or pick on this camera. Twitter. Yeah. This is your chance to tell us what your thoughts are in the show. Hennifer Lopez, that's me. Me. Or angry, there's a mama or somebody with fun word. If you're listening to us on what happened?
I don't know what happened.
There was light back there.
Maybe my monitor, my laptop.
Oh, okay. Squirrel. Wow, Dave, there's something wrong with you. If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live chat on Mondays. Thank you, all of you, for joining. The chat is most definitely where it's at. If you're new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell. Select all to receive notifications when we go live. Remember to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And, yeah, we're late tonight, so, yeah, I'm going to go and stop with the propaganda. Do your research. And, bye.
All right. Well, it's good to have you back, Ms. Lopez, and I'm assuming we'll see you next week.
Oh, God.
Why is this happening? Oh, this is too close. Too close to my airspace.
Shut your mouth. Hey!
All right. So next week we're doing. And I just want this to be clear. This was Dave's idea.
What
Dave.
What was Dave's idea?
Next week's topic.
What's the topic?
Well, it's a Marvel movie
Oh, yeah.
because it's the 15th anniversary of the original Iron Man.
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
which I can't believe it's been 15 fucking years since that movie came out.
yeah. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. You'll get my full appreciation or whatever next week. But yeah, it was a Marvel movie. Dave's doing a Marvel movie.
I know. So this is a big occasion, folks.
Yeah.
Because this may be the only time in the history of this show where we talk about a Marvel movie here on the pod.
Yeah.
So enjoy it. Oh, by the way, tickets for The Flash should be going on sale this week. You want to go, right?
Yes.
Do you want me to get you a ticket when I buy mine?
It's going to depend on when you buy it.
When I buy it or when the movie is?
When the movie is.
It would probably be like a Friday or a Saturday night.
Of what week?
Well, it comes out June 16th.
Oh. We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk after.
Well, I'll probably just end up getting an extra ticket, and if you can't make it, then you can't make it.
All right,
Maybe Bob
That's
Healy
fair.
will go.
I want to go. I do want to go because I want to see my Batman.
Yeah.
So
So
yes,
keep an eye out for that, folks. And I guess that's it.
that's it.
All right. Well,
Let's wrap it up, B.
yeah, because we're 20 minutes over time. But thank you to everybody who stuck with us.
Some
this
of us
long.
have to get home and eat dinner.
Yes, and some of us have to get to bed because I took my pill an hour ago. So, thank you guys. Iron Man next week. We'll be back on our normal Monday schedule for at least another week, and then we skip and blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So, all right. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everybody. And until next time, go fuck yourself.
Okay, now what do I click?
All right. And that is that. Thanks again, everybody. It's been great, but it is time to say goodnight. Who the fuck is texting me? Oh. Scott's sending me screenshots of when he reached out to you with timestamps and date stamps.
I know. I'm the worst. I am the worst. I am admitting. I am admitting my failure.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on, Scott. I'm sorry.
Yep. Wait, what do you mean no hangout? Brady?
We're not hanging out.
Oh, I thought he meant that when we do the meetup.
No. We're I'm still working on rescheduling that. But
Okay.
no after show. It's late. Sorry, guys.
All right. Yep. Good night.
Bye.